Morning, then. AC. Sleep. Overrated. Chelsea, I owe you a response. I apologize. I'm feeling a wee bit nostalgic today. So I warn you, I may get a little soft or something. Hey, Molly. So there's a wee bit of a tradition that is or something. In America, do you have a thing called the blessing of the graves? America, do you have a thing called the blessing of the graves? Do you? Blessing of the Graves is an annual and sometimes twice annual event that takes place in your local graveyard. And is an annual and sometimes twice annual event that takes place in your local graveyard. And I don't know how to talk about Irish customs and Irish norms without it sounding really and I don't know how to talk about Irish customs and Irish norms without it sounding really weird. But I don't know how to really explain the. I don't want to have to keep repeating myself. And the fact that nobody's telling me in the comments that the glitch is gone makes me think nobody can fucking hear me right now. Keep repeating myself. And the fact that nobody's telling me in the comments that the glitch is gone makes me think nobody can fucking hear me right now. Bleeding hell. All right, got it. Seems okay. It's good. All right, great. And so the family unit. Hear me right now. Bleeding hell. All right, got it. Seems okay. It's good. All right, great. And so the family unit in Ireland, people, if I was to get married tomorrow, I would need about. And so the family unit in Ireland, people, if I was to get married tomorrow, I would need about 125. I would need about 125 spots for me family alone. Oh, hang on, we may have opposition. Let's see. Colonel Sanders, what's your take?
I think you've got in respects to what you're trying to in regards to your like tagline, what you're saying. I mean, we you can say that in a large respect, but you've also got to admit when people do come forward with stuff, they've got to be taken somewhat seriously. Like it's a double edged sword. If like, because I
When
get where
who
you're
comes
coming
forward
from.
with stuff?
Sorry, buddy.
When you say when people come forward with stuff, what stuff?
Like obviously, like SA, all that stuff, like grape, all that
Okay.
stuff. And all I'm trying to say is there's a middle ground to it all. I suppose obviously people who are falsely accused, they should be punished in the same order of the law as say someone if someone was found guilty of that crime they were accused of. I completely respect that, but
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you just say that people who make false allegations should suffer the same punishment as the crime that they're accusing the person of?
yeah, 100%.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If a fella was arrested for the grape
Yeah,
of three 5-year-old children,
yeah.
and he did it 5 years, waited until they turned five, and then they started graping a baby, and then spent 5 years doing that, and then graped another baby, and that person ends up getting 20 years for that.
Yeah.
You're saying that a person who lies doesn't actually hurt a baby, doesn't actually cause any harm to a baby, right? Simply tells a lie. You're
Hmm.
saying that person should be punished the same as a man who grapes three children. Same as a man who.
I'm saying it's the natural deterrent, isn't it, to stop people from making certain
Can you
accusations.
just say that you think that those should be punished equally?
I don't think that exactly, but I'm saying it should be
I mean, you
punishable.
just said it should be.
Don't you agree? Don't you agree that it should be
Did you?
punishable?
Hang on, hang on. Don't pivot. You said it should be
I'm
punished
not pivoting.
exactly. Okay, so answer the question. Do you agree that a woman who claims a fella who just lied,
Yeah,
claims a fella had raped 3 children, and the
yeah,
police investigate, find out never happened.
yeah,
Fella ends up, doesn't mean charged, doesn't go to jail or anything like that.
yeah, yeah.
You're saying that she should be penalized. She should be penalized the same
Yeah, no,
as the person
100%.
who actually raped 3 children.
Not to the fullest extent, maybe not to the same sentence
So
as
not the
such,
same then. So not
not the
punished the
same. But
same.
all, but what
Okay,
I'm
but you
saying,
did say they should be
yeah,
punished the
and
same, didn't
maybe
you?
maybe I sensationalised what I said at the start.
Okay, do you want to change that?
Yeah, of course I do. But don't you? You do agree though that it should be punishable by law?
It is punishable by law. What are you talking about?
No, it isn't. Large cases. So, say for example, say
Respectfully,
hypothetically.
can I just make a recommendation? Do you know anything
Sure.
about the law?
No.
So how are you gonna, like, you just said something stupid 5 minutes ago? Why are you gonna say something else stupid by saying like you don't know the law? There are laws against it.
What, you're Irish, aren't you?
Yeah, and
Yeah, the Irish law, UK law is completely different.
I'm sorry, in the UK, you don't have filing a false police report or perjury or lying under
Yeah,
oath. You
yeah,
don't have those as laws.
yeah. We have that, but I'm saying like
Oh, you
obviously
do. So you do have those as
no,
laws.
no, no. But you're twisting my words now.
So it's
I'm saying
not
the
different then.
criminality of it of both situations could be entirely
I
different. That's
just
what I'm trying to
explained
acknowledge.
it. You just
No,
said,
no,
do you
no.
think it
You
should be
said
punished? Listen,
no, but
you just said, do you think it should be punished under law? My response is, it was. You said it's
okay.
not. I said, do you know fucking nothing about the law? You said no. I then purported to know something about the law. You then denigrated my knowledge by saying you're just Irish, so you don't know about the
No,
UK.
I didn't
I then
denigrate nothing,
informed you that there
anything.
are laws in the UK that do punish this specific thing. Your response should be, oh shit, you're right. It is punished in the UK. My bad. I didn't know that. That should be your response. Be
Okay.
humble.
I'm humble. I'm humble enough to admit that. But what I'm
Okay,
trying to
so
say
that's
is,
twice now you've said
yeah,
something stupid. So I'd recommend you just slow it down a bit.
okay. But I'm saying when you say rarely ruin men's lives, what do you mean by rarely? Have you ever seen? I've read stories where people have killed themselves based on false accusations. There's actual.
Okay, what
Well, I'm not.
story
I'm
do
not.
you
I
know?
don't know the people's exact names, but I've seen it, and I've seen people become mentally ill because of because good people. I don't know the people's exact names, but I've seen it, and I've seen people become mentally ill because of because good
So
people.
you know people who've been falsely accused?
Yeah, and I know people
How
who've
many
been
people
accused
do
and
you
they've
know have
actually
been
been
falsely
guilty of
accused?
it because
How many
you can't
people do you know who've been falsely accused? How
been
many people
accused
do
and
you
they've
know have been
actually been
falsely
guilty of
accused?
it because
How many
you can't.
people do you know who've been falsely accused? Personally, how many people do you know?
Who?
Two. You know two people, men or women, who've been falsely accused.
Yeah.
Men or women? It's a question. Well, men or women who've been falsely accused.
Yeah.
Men or women? It's a question.
Yeah, no, both men and women.
Okay, you're saying you know one man who was falsely accused and you know one woman who was falsely accused of
Yeah.
rape or SA, correct?
Or domestic abuse.
Who was falsely accused and you know one woman who was falsely accused of
Yeah.
rape or SA, correct?
Or domestic abuse. The woman was
Okay,
domestic.
the topic's not domestic abuse. It's SA or rape.
Well, how come SA and rape is not considered the same as domestic abuse?
Sure, because there's a sexual component behind it. Rape.
Well, how come SA and rape is not considered the same as domestic abuse?
Sure, because there's a sexual component behind it.
Oh no, but that this is the thing that annoys me.
Colonel Sanders, let me ask you a question. If a father spanked their child and another father,
No,
let me ask you a question. If a father spanked their child and another father
no,
raped their child, would you
you're going
consider
around in
those similar
circle.
crimes?
What about a parent who beats his kid to a bloody pulp?
Yeah,
Is
would you
that the
consider
same?
that similar crime as a parent?
What about a parent who beats his kid to a bloody pulp?
Yeah,
Is
would you
that the
consider
same?
that similar crime as a parent who grapes a child? Do you
Yeah,
think the psychological harm would be the same with the child?
100%, 100%. People use this connotation; they're both as bad as each other. I hate this idea. Someone gets
Did you just say
battered.
someone being physically beaten up is just as bad as someone being raped?
Yeah, no,
Have you,
100% is.
hang on, you're
No,
Colonel Sanders. You're a
100% is.
fella.
You're twisting
You're a
the words
fella.
now.
Have you not been beaten up before? You've
Yeah,
been in
but I'm
fights
saying there's a
before, surely.
difference between. There's a
Have you been in
difference.
fights before? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course I have, and I've won and I've lost.
Okay,
That's
so
why.
are you telling me you would like, if you could, to trade all the fights where you got your ass beat by having some big fella fuck up the arse non-consensually? That's what you're telling me?
No, but when I'm saying it, when it comes to
Why do you
children,
say no? I thought you
no,
said they're just arse non-consensually. That's what you're telling me?
No, but when I'm saying it, when it comes to
Why do you
children,
say no? I thought you
no.
said they're
But
the same.
this is what I'm saying. You're twisting my words here. What I'm saying is, you're saying
I
that
taught
domestic
you just
abuse.
said physical
No,
abuse
no,
is the
no, no,
same as
no, no.
sexual
You're because
abuse.
you're a very intelligent fella. You're trying to twist the words around to make it suit your
I've
narrative.
had
And
Englishmen
my
accuse me
narrative,
of this
and
before.
the narrative is what I was trying to say is this, right? Domestic abuse is just as bad as SA in some cases, and it is, and you know this, but you try, and this
In
is what
some
people
cases.
in some cases. Okay, can we
Great. So
agree
I'll
to?
ask the
Can we
question.
agree on
So
that question?
no. So I'll ask the
Well,
question again. Are you? Would you? So I've been beaten up twice in my life, right?
but
And both of them, there was one case where it was three bikers. I went out to ask them to stop revving their bike because I was trying to get some sleep, and they decided to jump me and beat me to a pulp. I'll always
yeah,
remember it because one of the fellas was like, he probably wasn't 4 foot, but like in my head, he was 4 foot. He was probably five
sure.
foot two. And there was a ridiculous of a situation that just made it even more embarrassing that there was this really short fella who was part of it. But three of these bikers beat me to a pulp. And it genuinely rocked me confidence for a wee bit, right? For a couple of months, right?
Sure.
And I would say I was beaten pretty bad. And are you suggesting that I would trade that? Are you suggesting that
I don't.
being
It's not
beaten
a.
is as
It's not
bad
a.
as grape? So
It's
you're
not.
suggesting that I would, you're
It's not a
suggesting that
contest.
there's
It's not.
some men, you just made it a contest by saying it's the same.
No, but I'm saying it's just as bad, and it is in some
Okay, if
cases.
it's
It's
just as
just as
bad, are
bad.
you seriously suggesting that men would rather trade those few times they've been beaten up in their lifetime,
No,
but
because
instead of having like a scene from Pulp
we're
Fiction
talking.
where you
No,
get
no.
raped in the back room by a gimp?
No, what I'm saying
Why
is,
not?
so
Why not?
I'm saying in situations, domestic abuse can be as bad, and you know this, and you're trying to twist it into a fight thing, and it isn't a fight thing because a fight connotates
Okay, so
consent
when is
between
it as
two
bad?
active parties.
So when is
Whereas,
it as
like I'm
bad?
talking about, and really, it's about the power dynamic. But I'm saying,
When is it as bad?
I'm saying to a point where people end their own lives because of it. That's how bad it is. Or
When
when
is
people
it? You
recluse
understand
themselves
that
from
if I
life, this is how
slap
bad it
someone on
is.
the street, they could end their own life, right?
Yeah, they could, 100%.
Okay,
The trauma
so
from
how
it.
a person reacts is not necessarily proportionate to what was done to them.
No, of course not.
Okay, so why are you're trying to maintain the idea that
It kind
domestic
of,
violence is the same as SA?
I
Give
mean,
me a
like,
scenario where it's the same in your head. When a man would trade being raped by another fella for some sort of physical abuse. Give me an example of that.
Well, what I'm trying to say, look, I think it's an email wanted to say something beforehand. What did you want to say?
No, 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 no. You finish. I want
Oh,
you
okay,
because you've
okay,
said two stupid things that you were corrected on, and I
yeah.
think you're really
No, I'm
not
not.
being
I don't
fair.
think it's. I don't think it's stupid. I just think it's. It is. No, but like, do you know? So, say for
Do you want to know
example,
the difference?
go on, tell me
Men
the
don't
difference.
ordinarily walk around feeling the shame or internalizing the shame of what
Yeah.
was done to them when they're being beaten up. They don't internalize it because they're not told that they were to blame for it. That's one huge difference between physical abuse and schmexual abuse. Is that quite often in society, we make the person who is schmexually abused feel responsible for it.
Which we shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, but it's what happens. That's why I wouldn't say that they're the same thing.
Okay. Okay.
I would say there's also overlap in terms of like sexual identity. Like if a man was raped and he orgasmed during it, then he would have crisis within his own sexual identity, as if he were gay and feel more shame. I think it's pretty silly to say that domestic violence is egregious as grape. Grape is classified as a heinous crime for a multitude of reasons.
what if you had someone locked under your house in a dungeon for years?
Sorry, you're
I didn't
not
know.
coming across very clear. What?
What about if you had, some nutcases out there have people locked in a dungeon and beat them for years, and then you get someone at work who slaps you on
That
the
would be
ass,
slavery.
and then you get someone who slaps you on the ass.
We're
So
talking about slavery.
yeah,
Slavery
but
is not assault,
No.
right?
You're comparing
yeah, but
grape
I'm going
and
to two
domestic violence.
extremes. I don't think you can kind of I really don't think you can kind of like
That's why I
categorize them both.
specifically said grape, not like sexual assault or sexual harassment,
Okay. We
because
can
it's
agree.
obviously
We
like
can
a
agree
severe
on that.
bodily integrity violation.
I wouldn't count grape as I wouldn't count domestic abuse as significant as grape.
Great. So then
I'll agree.
since we're talking about grape, are you telling me you know two people have been accused falsely of grape?
No, hell no, no, God no. Whoa.
Okay, do you know why are you saying whoa? You're the one who said you knew two people are falsely accused.
Oh yeah, not of that. God, no. DA.
Okay, do you know anyone who's been accused of grape?
That
Because
wouldn't
we're
be.
talking about grape and SA only.
I wouldn't be friends with him.
So what the fuck is your argument then?
I
What's
don't
it
know.
about?
I actually don't know.
I'll be honest. I only joined in earlier on because he was on about like should it? It's like it's not punishable and stuff. And I just wanted to say like under common law, all like defamation comes under harm and loss. So
Defamation isn't a criminal
so like when
violation,
people
though.
do I'm just telling him that when people do this and falsely accused, they do get charged. You know, defamation cases do go out there and people get charged. It's not the law's like a vast thing. You can't just like say, oh, women can say this and get away with it, and men can and get doing this and not.
I know you're trying to be helpful. I'm just pointing out is that there's both civil and criminal penalties, and defamation and slander would be a civil penalty, which means that the victim can go to court and sue the other person, and then the criminal penalties would be perjury or filing a false police report or making a false statement to a government official. I'm just pointing out that there's two different types of remedies, civil and criminal, whereas Colonel Sanders didn't think there was any laws that make it illegal for people to make false reports to the police. So, Colonel Sanders, I'm curious. In America, anyway, the penalty, the maximum penalty for perjury, is 6 months to 1 year. Would you still make the argument that someone who makes a false accusation and the case doesn't go to trial, fella doesn't end up doing any time at all? Are you seriously saying that that person should do more than a year in jail and something more comparable to a person who grapes a person?
When you put it like that, probably not. So you've educated me.
Probably not.
You've made me sound quite an idiot.
I think it should be done on.
The Irish have been doing that.
Oh, you've educated me.
Probably not. For a
On
while.
multiple offences. So if you get caught doing it multiple times, then you should go to jail for longer. Or prison. That's what I think. I mean, if you've done it and it's nearly got a guy locked up, and it's a serious thing that could get that person locked up completely, and and people probably look into it and go, well, I could get a lot of money. People probably look into it and go, well, I could get a lot of money out of this too, and blah blah blah. Then it should be taken on sort of merit of like, what's that person doing? And if they get a year in jail, but then if they get caught doing it again, then it should be the shot.
Do you want to know what I would propose as a better law to fix the system that does sort of go to what Colonel Sanders is talking about?
What's that?
I would prefer a law that says that if you make a false allegation and a person ends up going to jail, that you have a 6-month period where if you come forward in those 6 months after the fellow's convicted, that you admit what you did was wrong, you get charged with regular perjury. So you get your 6 months to 1 year sentence. However, if you don't come forward in that 6-month period, whatever sentence that person suffers gets added on to your sentence. I think that creates a motivation for people who do lie. It gives them an opportunity to come forward, and it creates a motivation for them to come forward very early on in order to lessen the long-term harm caused by what it is their lie may cause.
Yeah, I think that sounds like the good one, really. I mean, I think the thing is about the law and I think one thing that would make things a lot better anywhere is the fact that we wonder what the police are doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are they doing? I see police all over TikTok, all over YouTube, and they're mainly helping bailiffs harass people. And why? That's not. We're there to keep the peace. If you wasn't,
the police
there,
aren't going to stop. The police aren't going to stop grape. Culture and society are the primary ways of stopping grape.
But all I can see is resources basically going towards police helping bailiffs harass old women for driving in bus lanes in 2010. Do you know what I mean? Instead of going, well, actually, if that, and I call them a pig because I think the pigs, if that pig wasn't doing that, you know, and then helping them just to, oh, we're just trying to keep the peace. And they were actually like, oh, well, we actually, you know, we're stationed in the street or we're stationed around vulnerable people, keeping them safe, then less shit would happen.
Well, I actually
That's
think that
simple.
police add to violence, especially sexual violence.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
I don't think,
I mean by themselves. That's kind of a unique perspective when it comes to police, is that they can essentially patrol their community with very little supervision, and they have ultimate like authority when it comes to interacting with the public. So we can see that often police officers do abuse that power and actually essay people themselves.
I think
So
you're also.
if we're anti-essay, I would say police abolition would also go into those arguments.
yeah. I mean, I think there needs to be. I think the police. I think whatever sort of authority there is, there needs to be so much more transparency about what they're doing, what they're getting up to. Like the biggest thing I see on the internet now, especially in England, is these auditors, and everyone's against them. I'm like, what are you on about? Like policing the police should have been done for the entire time. Like this, it should have been done since day one. Like, and I'm not going to sit there and expect, you know, you've got 1,000 people calling, you know, millions of people calling all the shots, and you think that they're just like batting honestly on every hit. Like, that's mental. So you've got to turn around and be like, well, no, we can't just let them go around unchecked. There needs to be serious consequences for the police, and there needs to be a complete. Well, I mean, they don't hire them for the smarts. That's one thing. They hire them for obedience. They do not hire them for their ability to actually think about the law, because that's another thing we see constantly over and over again. The cops do not know what they're doing. Like they haven't got a clue. It's like you follow this. You just follow orders. It's mental. I think it's absolutely nuts in this country right now.
Yeah. Denise, do you have a take, or did you request accidentally? Denise? Denise, I'm not sure you know. You're up here right now. I did mute you because I thought you did accidentally request. Okay, no. All right. So, Sean, you came up here in order to let the other fella know that there actually are penalties for people who make false allegations and that he doesn't need to go inventing more. Is there any other thoughts you have specifically on this topic?
No, I'm good. Cool.
You sure? No, no, because I mean, I appreciate that you came up with an open mind.
Yeah, I mean, nah, just I mean,
And you came up to to be fair, you came up to kind of support the topic, which I appreciate. There's a lot of fellows who just want to argue against it.
well, I mean, like I mean, I've got a daughter. Like she's 7 years old. She's going to be 8. I think about the future. I think about the childhood that I had and the things that I could do. And I mean, I won't lie. Like I sit here now, and I can't go too. I feel like I can't go too far away from her. I can't. Do you know what I mean? It's just the world that we live in right now. It's nothing like, and I've got to realize that I'm incredibly grateful for what I had when I was younger, and how do we get that back? You know, what's making it go wrong?
I mean, there's not really been an increase in grape in the UK or in the US in the past 50 years. I'm not sure what age you are, but unfortunately, when it comes to crime, crime in the 1980s and the crime in the UK in the 1980s and in the US was significantly worse in certain areas. So, for example, in unaliving, it was much higher, and those rates have gone down. But when it comes to SA, it's been pretty constant. So when you're saying like back in your day, it's very likely the grape rates were pretty similar.
I think I say maybe. I mean, maybe that was just maybe that's just where I'm from. Then maybe I was like quite closed off. I mean, I came through an era of when we didn't have phones and we didn't have as much information. So yeah, that's probably it. Maybe to me, I felt like it was a lot much safer place.
I'll
But
tell you this: do you have a big family?
pretty big, yeah. Like
Yeah. And what decade were you born in? Was it the 80s?
88, yeah,
Yeah.
8, yeah.
Yeah. I think our generation, what you'd find is if you spoke to your family, you will probably find out that a lot of them were raped. I think it's more so that 30, 40 years ago, the culture was they don't talk about it. They don't show because it was a dirty little secret.
All right, yeah. I mean, I guess so. Like, I mean, when I think back to when I was younger, when I was like a teenager, when I was like, I mean, I had a Mrs. Robinson moment, which is probably like, what? You know what I mean? But I don't know. Between me and my mates, like getting into that age, it was just more like we all bragged about it to each other.
Yeah, no,
Not,
I had the same thing happen, and I gotta admit, like, it was pretty fucking eye-opening because when I look back on it,
it's kind of
in
fucked
my
up, right?
yeah, in my head, I was like, "Oh, this is brilliant," and now looking back on it, like I don't feel traumatized by it. I feel a little gross. Like I look at her much differently now.
Mm,
Do you know what I mean? Like I don't feel preyed upon. I don't feel trauma from that personally. But I do definitely feel that they were. I just view them now as a bad person. It's just weird now to think back on it.
mm. It's it's different. Yeah, it's different times. Like it's really strange to think that that's
Yeah.
how. Like most of my most of my friends like in school when I was in school like I had quite a few girl mates. Like my best friend was a girl, and her boyfriends and all their boyfriends were like in the 20 odd years old, 19, 20, and we were like they were like 15, 16. So it was like what? But that was just what was going on. So it was just
Yeah, it's funny when people like shit on America for like, bad morals and all that. And when I look at the UK and Ireland, some of the things that are normalized, the idea of 15-year-olds getting with 20-year-olds is not even uncommon today. And it was real fucking common 20 years ago. And it's really kind of fucked up when you look back on it.
and it kind of I don't know, it kind of it's something that
But,
does
but
need
have,
to be
have
very
have you
much.
ever heard the term grape culture?
No.
It's a term that when most fellas hear it, they're like, the fuck are you talking about? Grape culture. But it's just this idea that there's behaviors and things that are normalized in society that make grape pretty prevalent. And that would be one of the examples is that age gap relationships and predatory relationships of adults getting with minors were not considered like illegal in the UK or Ireland. Like that's fucking wild when I think about it. But you as a father, when your daughter turns 14, if a 20-year-old fella is showing up at the door, you're going to feel very fucking different about it once it's knocking at your door, if you know what I mean?
I
Even
mean,
though
well,
you were bred in the culture that normalized it.
I mean, I think like now, I think it'll go the other way because I think like, I mean, I'm so focused as a father to the point where it's like, I know that like, and the thing is like, the comments that I get, the compliments that I get for being such a good father, and she's got a great mother as well. Like we know what I get for being such a good father, raising this amazing child, and I think that it's just going to be. I mean, when she gets to early teens, she's going to be learning like all forms of like martial arts stuff like that. Like she's going to learn how to protect herself, and I'm going to be teaching her just how to stay safe and understand what's going on out there.
Yeah,
I
but
think the idea of what happened when we were younger as well, though, it's like what do we get? We get all this music fed to us, which is just completely explicit. And it was like, oh, you shouldn't drink till you're 18, but actually, we're gonna make it so you all get pissed when you're 13 years old at the local park and turn you into binge drinkers. And we're gonna say, oh, you shouldn't listen to this music, and the music is talking about all this mad shit, and it's like, well, how can this culture like not manifest when it's been given to us? Like, oh, you shouldn't smoke. Oh, but we all do, and it's like it's weird. It's how we.
I would suggest that you think a wee bit differently in terms of like But let me put it this way: would you learning self-defense have stopped Mrs. Robinson and that situation from happening? The answer is no, right?
No, because it was like it was after this party, and it was in this house, and there was loads of people there, and it was
Yeah,
like
and it was, but part of the reason
I was
why was
I
is
was definitely in control of that in my head. Like,
well, yeah, in your head, exactly. And so, but what I was going to say was like, I think part of what would have contributed to that is not that you weren't physically able to overcome them, it's that there was a culture that made that acceptable. Like, why was there an older woman in that house in the first place? Why was it something that everyone
no,
in the
it
house
was
was
like
like,
it was a big family party. It was a huge family party.
yeah, but like, why was it something that one of her friends
And
celebrated, if you know what I
at this
mean?
point, I could get served in the pub. So I could get served in the pub. So I was getting because I looked over my age, and I was getting drunk, and I never told her how old I was.
Got it.
So
But
yeah,
I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think a lot of fellas think that the way of protecting women is to like make women tougher and make women more physically able to fight people off. And honestly, the biggest ways of being able to fight, in my opinion, is sort of changing the culture, changing how people talk about it, changing the environment that allows people to come forward, changing the environment that doesn't normalize behaviors that can lead to gripe. And that's much more likely. Like you giving your daughter karate lessons. There's plenty of women who are physically able to fight, but the reasons for not doing it are often self preservation. And so it's not that women are always necessarily being physically overwhelmed. It's that they know that if they do try to fight back, it could, end up being much, much worse for them. And so it's sort of like the idea, like in America, where they think the cure to violence is having pew pews everywhere.
yeah.
I'm not allowed to use certain words. But if you look
Well,
at
I
those
don't think
states,
that's
violence
not the
actually
reason why they have.
increases.
It's
Sorry.
not the reason they have the pew pews there is not. They didn't say it was a cure for violence. The reason they have it there is to protect them from a tyrannical government in case the government changes. To try
Yeah,
to turn the
don't get me
army
wrong.
against
That's
them.
why the amendment was passed. But the reason why people purchase them and fight for them today is in their heads is that will be what prevents violence. Yet we find higher violence in those areas that have those pew-pews. And my point being that
I
I know
mean,
it seems easy to say violence will stop something being done to you, but often it
well,
can exasperate the issue and make it worse.
we can
Do you know
say
the
that, but
most at
I'm not
common?
someone who votes. But
Do you know the most common use for at-home firearms?
uh,
Do you know the most common use for at-home firearms?
it's self-unaliving, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. I understand that. I mean, but the thing is, there's one thing that yeah, yeah, I understand that. I understand that. I mean, but the thing is, there's one thing that I mean, this is not my opinion. I do not choose left or right. By the way, I do not subscribe to that whatsoever. But in America, the reason that they have votes left or right. By the way, I do not subscribe to that whatsoever. But in America, the reason that they have voted for that right now is because corruption is clearly rife within the government of America.
Well, let's not get derailed on that. Let's not get
Like, corruption is clearly rife within the government of America.
well, let's not get derailed on that. Let's not get
Like,
derailed on it.
Do
Yeah,
not use American propaganda.
the point I'm just simply trying to make to you is this idea that grape will stop if women are physically. Point I'm just simply trying to make to you is this idea that grape will stop if women are physically equipped to prevent it. I don't think it's a very healthy idea because you're also sort of making your daughter
oh
feel
no,
like it's
no,
within
oh
her
no, what
ability
that
to
was
stop.
just,
In
oh
her
no, what
ability
that
to
was
stop
just
it, if you know
one.
what I mean. Yeah, because you're also sort of making your daughter
Oh
feel
no,
like it's
no,
within
oh
her
no, what
ability
that
to
was
stop
just
it, if you know
one.
what I mean.
Yeah, that was just one facet of what I will be
Yeah,
doing
I
to
dude,
keep my
I'm not
daughter
coming at
safe.
you. I'm not attacking you. I'm just simply saying that, like, be
But she
careful
shouldn't
with
have
the.
to. I understand that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
be
do.
carefully saying that, like, be
But she
careful
shouldn't
with
have
the.
to. I understand that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
be
do
careful
understand.
with the routes you use to protect your daughter because the more you emphasize things that she has to do, the more you're sort of putting the responsibility on her, if that makes sense. Things that she has to do, the more you're sort of putting the responsibility on her, if that makes sense. And you may
No,
not
no,
be
no.
intending it.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not. Don't
But
want to
people
put.
do it a lot accidentally. People do. I don't think you have ill intent. I'm really not coming at you at all, mate.
Yeah,
It's.
yeah,
I think that a lot of people they're trying to do the right thing. I'm coming at you at all, mate.
yeah,
It's.
yeah,
I think that a lot of people they're trying to do the right thing, and probably the best thing you can ever do with your kids is to let them know that event never happens. That you're going to support them. That you're going to love them, and you're going to be there. That's going to be like the number one. That never happens. That you're going to support them. That you're going to love them, and you're going to be there. That's going to be like the number one thing to do.
yeah,
And
yeah,
most parents don't think of that. Like the first thing they'll talk about is like karate lessons. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Oh yeah, I think it's like it's one thing. I mean, get some bear mace and shit. I don't know. No, I'm joking, but no, but like no, like it's just strange. So it's just the way society is when we have all these different, like, you have different countries which have different rules, and you have different people and different, and like it's so annoying that we have, that I think in this country anyway, that we do have the police just, in my opinion, they are so just unfit for purpose. Like they're not doing the right stuff. And then you look in Parliament and it's like they're on about the way that they're just completely deflecting about the gangs. It's like, are you joking? Like are you?
Well, let's not
What is
get
going
derailed. I
on?
could see you definitely have a certain thing about the guards in England, the guards, but let's not make it into a more general conversation.
Well,
But
yeah,
if
no,
there's anything else you want to share on the specific topic,
no. To be fair, I was just basically coming in just to tell that guy
yeah,
because
no worry.
I thought you were. To be fair, I won't lie. I know you're Irish now, but sometimes I mix up Irish with American, and I was like, "Oh, this English guy's making us sound stupid as hell." So I just wanted him. So I was just like, "Dude, you're like, oh, you
By the
can't
way,
get
not
drunk."
I'm not sure if you're reading the comments, but like I want to be super clear. I think you're coming up in good faith. I think you want to do the right thing. I really, really, really do want you to understand this idea of victim blaming, where you sort of like teach your daughter that there's things that she can do to avoid it, and you sort of spend more time explaining to her that here's how you can prevent this from happening. And we've had so many women join these lives who've talked about the fact that they won't tell their father what happened because their father trained them not to have it happen. And they don't want to go to their father because they're going to be embarrassed or feel like they let their father down.
Yeah,
And that's so fucking common from men who are trying to do the right thing and they end up making a fucking bollocks of it. And that's why I'm trying to really hope you really understand that when I'm talking about the karate stuff, it's not a stupid point. You need to be very, very careful that when you're trying to help someone, that you're not also making them feel like it's their job to not be great. Because it's like, nah, that's crazy. Do you know what I mean? But we often put that burden on women because we feel like the threat of men out there is so uncontrollable. We try to control the thing that we think is controllable, which is the actions of our daughters. And unfortunately, that makes the daughter feel like they're the one to blame.
oh
And
right,
that from a psychological standpoint, like so much of the pain and damage of grape is the after effects. And you can really, really fuck up your daughter if they think that you have sort of made them think that they can avoid it, that they should have learned to avoid it. You know, the way like you may teach your daughter at some point about red flags and stuff. Well, that means if it ever happens to her, she's going to think in her head, why didn't I see that red flag? I'm so fucking stupid. My father told me about that red flag and I fucking ignored it. I did this to myself. Why didn't I see that red flag? I deserved it. I was fucking stupid. That's a super, super common thing that
shit
happens.
that. It's shit. Yeah, it's shit that. That shouldn't go down at all. It's just yeah. I think that yeah. I think the world just something needs to have a bit of a jolt. To be honest, it's glad that everyone's talking about it. That's the main thing. That's my opinion. There's liking each other as blokes, 100%. But like, we kind of already did that. But we always just it's all violence in it. It's just constant violence. Like if I ever saw a girl getting something up with a bloke in the street and the guy's getting a bit handsy with a girl, you just jump in there and you just start kicking her head in. and you don't know
Yeah,
why.
I mean the yeah, but the problem is again, I feel like that's sort of like it's too late at that point in the sense that like where fellas can really do a lot more good, I think, is where someone's making like sexually inappropriate jokes because it's those sort of like more little things that allow those bigger things to happen. Because if you're jumping in to beat someone up, like you're now acting to undo a harm that's already been done, if that makes sense. It's sort of like there's so many people who come up and say, I am against grape. If I found the rapist, I'd unalive him. Well, what do I care? The woman's already been raped. You're only focusing on what you do after the harm is done instead of, yeah, reactive is the word. Thank you, Ash. Instead of looking at proactive measures to prevent it from happening. But those proactive measures, just make sure not to put them on your daughter and put them more on fellas. So, like another thing that fathers do that seems helpful but is really harmful, as your daughter grows up, I guarantee you're going to want to police what she's wearing. And what that will likely end up doing, because grapists don't grape because someone's wearing a low cut shirt. Like that's grape is not. It's not like women are walking by and there's a non-grapist beside her, but because he sees cleavage, he turns into a grapist. Like that's just not what happens, you know. But we will teach daughters to cover up because there's bad men out there, and the problem is that if they end up getting raped when they're wearing something that would be ordinary for a woman to wear, they're going to end up feeling like they brought it on themselves. And so, you know, I do think you want to do good. And that's why I'm sort of like pointing out these things. Just avoid these pitfalls because it really is very harmful for
Can I ask?
kids growing up.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Or
please do. I would like to keep it non-stabby only because, like, you know,
no,
look,
no,
he
no, no.
may
I'm
say some stupid
actually
shite, but like he is in good faith, and I
no,
just
no,
want
no,
to
no.
make
This isn't
sure.
against
Yeah.
him at all.
No, I was just saying, generally speaking. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I actually am not questioning what you're saying, but I just like to ask, like I have a really close relationship with my dad. Um, do you think there's a way to do both of those things? Because I do think we can teach and share, like for instance, like I, as a woman, have learned about red flags, et cetera, and things. And so, like, is there a way that I can share my experiential knowledge, like, with my daughter and teaching her about these things that's not blaming her? Because I do think that there's a way to do it, right? Maybe? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Of
okay.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah. There's nothing wrong with teaching a person about red flags. It's more so about them thinking that
that if
that
they
will
don't,
give them the power to avoid a bad situation.
for sure, for sure.
That to me, that's the bigger problem. Is like
I agree.
if you cover up, you won't be hurt. No, that's not
Right.
true. It's more that sort of language, and it's like without using language, like if you wear something like that, you're inviting. Like there's just like easy ways to avoid saying really stupid thing. If you're wearing something like that, you're inviting someone to touch you. Like obviously, it's just the phrasing of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know, I do think that like,
All right, sorry guys, I've got to go. I've got to go. From
yeah, appreciate you joining.
I
have a good day.
you were talking.
No, I appreciate it. I'm gonna give you a follow, mate. Cheers.
I
Go ahead.
I reposted a video that I did like a year ago, and every time I repost it, it gets like it goes like wild. And it's just the statistics. It's just a simple phrase that there are more teen mothers than there are teen fathers. And if you look at the study of who's impregnating young girls, it's men over 20. The average age gap, because you were talking about age gap, and the age gap actually gets larger as the girls get younger, which is even more frightening. But it's the average age gap of teen pregnancies is 8 years. And
Jesus.
yeah, it was found that I think up to 15 to 17-year-old girls who got pregnant, it was up to 56% were by men over the age of 20. And it was like 26% were by men over the age of 20. Percent of girls 11 to 14, the fathers were over the age of 20. 20, and that's of what's reported. And then
Yeah.
on that note, there's 50,000 child marriages every year, and 85% of them are minor girls married to adults. And there are parents out there who throw their children weddings when they get impregnated by an adult. So that's
Yeah. I
gross.
mean, that's the number one reason why, focusing on another group, why transphobes genuinely drive me fucking nuts. Like, if they really cared about kids, why are they not advocating to just close the loopholes on both A, child marriage, and B, age of consent laws? Like, if they actually cared about kids, that is so much of an actual problem that
But
it just,
of them saying that they wanted to lower it to 14 in Missouri, or like, no joke. Like, this is for real. Like, it's just crazy.
I mean, that's where I'd be happy because I don't like weaponizing the idea of calling people Petrio, but that's where I would be quite happy weaponizing that term in the sense that, like, any Republican lawmakers who are not on board with it, I'd be happy to call them a Petrio.
Well, there's
Otherwise,
a real
how are
name.
you validating child marriage?
You absolutely can, and if you wanted to be particular about it, I mean, there are P3DO is specifically like an age group, but there
Yeah,
are
no, I know
for
hemophile and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and that's like that's it's obviously just as sick, but like yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's like they're fetishizing over like watching young girls being married or why at this point. Like, and to me, it just goes back to control. The younger a girl gets married, the less chance she's going to have an education. The quicker you can get her pregnant, the less chance she's going to have to be able to like get herself out of it. When they get married, they can't divorce because they're not legally an adult. So people enter them into these marriages and then they can't get out without somebody else's permission until they turn 18. There's a documentary on Hulu called Child Brides, and they talk about this, about how these women are promised college and they're promised an education, and then they knock them up and they're doomed.
Yeah.
And it's
I,
yeah.
I do wonder if it would be helpful for folk like yourself or Kenzie, for women who talk on grape culture, to, like, I'm not a content creator and all that, but I think the ability to be able to inform your child about these risks and what are red flags and stuff, and doing it in a way that doesn't internalize blame on them. I don't think I've
Mhm.
ever seen content like that. And I never talk on it because I do believe that it's very difficult to do. I think it's incredibly difficult to do without engaging potentially in victim blaming. And
Yeah.
so all I kind of encourage a person to do is to constantly try not to do that. But, like, how do you explain to a child as they're growing up the type of dangers out there without also making it feel like it's their job to
I think
avoid
you
it?
can just
It's
tell them the
very
truth.
difficult.
I think you can just tell them the truth and say, like, we live in a world where there's a power dynamic and a struggle, and here is where we are in society. Like, we shouldn't be valued that way. We are better than that, and we are working towards this, but this is what you need to know. And you need to know that you need to be able to educate yourself and keep yourself independent. I think that that's just the best way of doing it, is just saying, like, so it's not projected as anything other than like preserving your independence and being able to take care like of yourself, and that in society women are targeted, and that this is just what happens. I think the truth is the best way to go.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying though is, like, that fella, and, like, I get very torn between the fact that, like, I try not to be stabby, even though I'm known
What do you mean when you
on
say
the
stabby?
stabby, which is being overtly hostile towards
To
someone.
him, okay, got it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, even though I'm known for that on the app, in my opinion, I do endeavor to try to figure out if the person's up here in good faith. And if they're up here in good faith, I have no interest in attacking them whatsoever. I really just want to reach them.
Yeah, I agree with
And I
you.
go back and forth on to the person who is requesting. You can request when you change your username. Otherwise, you can get fucked. Let me just block you, actually. So, to the person who I'm about to block, go change your name and then come back.
I just ran out of coffee. It's the end of the world. I just drank my
Oh,
last
bitch.
coffee.
Um, but so what the fuck was it? I was just what the
You were
fuck?
talking
Oh,
about
yeah, stabby. So, like that fella, I know he was saying some stuff that was victim blaming and all that, but like my, it's not that I feel empathy for him. I think it's really hard to figure out what's the right thing to say and all that. But like when
Mhm.
you see someone like him who like is expressing that he wants to do the right thing, I just wish people would be more like, let me help you, even
Yeah.
as he's fucking up. I wish we had, and the thing is, I'm not going to put that on victims of grape to handhold someone who's also using victim blaming language. Like, I understand that, but it does make me sad that we can scare someone off like that when he could be willing to learn a bit. And
I thought it
the
went
reason why I
well.
was,
Y'all went.
say again?
I thought it went well with y'all. I mean, I was listening for a while.
No, no, it did. It did. I'm talking generally
In
speaking. There's
general.
many times when, especially when I have like other people on the panel with me, where I don't get to really control what's happening, because it's very hard to tone police a friendly. At least I find it very difficult
And a
to.
woman
And
on this topic.
yeah, or a woman, yeah. And so, I don't like it when it gets like, on the one hand, I totally validate the idea that you shouldn't have to handhold someone to not be overtly harmful. But on the flip side, in my lives anyway, I'm more focused on getting someone to change, not in sort of like just berating them or chastising them, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I just struggle with that a lot. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is that that fella I think would have hugely benefited from someone giving him content that showed, here's how you have that conversation with your daughter. Because, like, I think he wants to say it right. Do I think he will?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I think
Irish,
it's very
Irish,
difficult.
don't. Sorry, Irish, don't let Justin speak. He literally just said a slur on another live, so
Justin, what slur did he say, Lena?
the N one.
Nigger.
Exactly.
All
There
right.
we go.
Justin, just really quickly, mate. I don't know why you're so insecure, whether it be that you have a really shitty family household, whether you've got no skill set, whether you got no education, you have no bright future moving forward, whether it be an undersized dick, whether it be the fact that you're not able to pleasure women, whether it be the fact you've got a weird growth on your ass that you're embarrassed about, whether it be the fact you got acne all over your face. I'm not sure what the source is of your scorn towards people and all that, but I just want to say very quickly, it's incredibly pathetic that you waste your time going around trying to engage in this rage bait nonsense where you try to troll people by using words that you think hurt their feelings. Because I guarantee you, most people, their feelings aren't hurt. When you use that word, what you're just simply indicating is you're a fucking moron on a waste of space. So go walk in front of a bus and fucking kill yourself.
Irish. Well, I just wanted to let you know that, but I'm gonna drop.
No, I appreciate it. Let me block him.
Bye.
He's blocked. Cheers. Thanks, Luna. So I know I just said I don't like to be stabby. I think that like once you know someone's not in good faith, then just let it go. Just let it rip. Alrighty, he's gone. Let me just mute his comments. I didn't see any comments he said that were a slur. Did anyone see any? I hope not.
My mom called. I missed whatever just happened.
Nothing happened. You didn't miss anything. Don't worry
Okay.
about it. Don't worry about it.
My mother.
But I do wish, it's something I've talked about in the past, how like there's different creators who have different ways of approaching grape culture, talking about it and their advocacy and stuff. And I wish there was better coordination in the sense that I am perfect if you are someone who has been raped or victimized and you're in your pain phase, and or you're in your like empowerment phase, then you should be on my lives. If you're in the education phase where you want to start helping other people, you maybe go to Kenzie. And I feel like there's different creators who do different things. I really wish there was a creator I knew on the app because I just don't. And I'm sure there is, who really focuses on making video content that can educate people on how to talk to their kids about this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I would love to be able
Maybe
to offer
I'll
that as a resource.
maybe I'll dip into. I mean, that's all I do is make content. Maybe. I mean, maybe that's something that I can dip into. I've been doing a lot more like political stuff recently, but I'm trying to do more content with me talking rather than like my man hating, like lip syncing stuff, which really is like great, but I messaged Kenzie a while ago. I wonder, my message probably didn't come off the right way, or like it didn't like what I wanted to do. But me and this other girl, we were talking about, like, I think that there could be a way, and this isn't just about grape culture, but just like the patriarchy in general. I think there could be a way to like hold alive for men and like almost frame it as like an MRA light saying, come and tell us.
I can see why Kenzie didn't
And then,
respond, but go on.
but yeah, right. I mean, I get it. But then,
No, no, I
but
hear you,
then,
but
so
go
you're
ahead. Yeah.
starting sort of like at the end where men are right now, but then we would back them up into why they set this system up and it harms them. I don't know exactly what it would look like, but it would be like kind of starting with the lie. Hold on, baby girl. And then like backing into everything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're leveraging the fact that they're going to be self-interested. Is that what you're going at?
Yeah, yeah. So like if we can sort, because here's the thing, right? Like people hear me say this rarely, and I always say like you're not going to catch me saying this, but like I could argue that the patriarchy is bad and just use how it harms men, because I think it harms men. I think that men overwhelmingly abandon their children because society has put so much pressure on men, or men have put so much pressure on men.
I agree.
I'm not excusing it, but what I'm saying is that like these systems, men work so much more. Well, why has society like made men think that they need to work 80 hours a week in order to be like doing right for their family, right? We live in a
No, I
society,
agree. Patriarchy objectively does harm men.
right? So like backing into it in a way, but I just don't know what it would look like. But
Yeah, no, I hear you. I go back and forth. To me, like I've thought of that part where I emphasize how it's hurting them. I don't know. I don't feel very good about doing that myself because I don't want to sort of empathize their harm. I more so prefer to focus on who they're hurting. I do think what you're saying could be more effective. No, I want to be clear though. What you're saying could be more effective.
I don't know
From
what it would
my
look like. I'd have to like discuss it and like, cause I probably got high one night and was like, this would be awesome. But it
The
probably won't.
reason why it doesn't speak to me very much is that I don't want to help someone, even though it may help other people in the long run. I don't feel good at helping someone who I know is acting out of self-interest.
Right.
Whereas that's why I usually try to push on fellas being more empathetic. And because I want to talk to those people, I want to help bridge the connection so that they start thinking about other people and changing because of other people. But I also think that that's the path of most.
Know like the goal, right? I wouldn't, like they would know I'm still a feminist, right? Like they wouldn't, so it wouldn't be like a manipulation to like agree to be on their side and then like back them in. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, everybody has their tools, at this point I'm willing to try anything. I don't know.
Yeah. Just a quick point, Samurai. Part of the problem that's going on in the comments right now is that there you got to draw a distinction between sexual harassment and sexual assault. I do believe there are some studies that suggest that clothing may play a role in regard to catcalling. But in terms of sexual assault, which is what we're talking about in here, there's no connection. There's literally no connection between clothing and grape. If there was a connection, then you would expect an increase in grape to take place in the beach. And you don't find that. Or you'd find there to be like some sort of connection between when a person is wearing X, they're more statistically likely to be S8 or grape. That it just doesn't exist. And so, Samurai, to the extent you have stats that show that there is an actual connection, you're more than welcome to join. But from my understanding, and I've looked at it, well, Samurai, I may be misstating what you're saying. You're more than welcome to join and state it yourself. I'm trying to explain to you what people are trying to point out to you, which is you seem to be suggesting that clothing may play a role in grape, and there's just no stats that back that up. If there were, I would have no problem admitting it. There's just no stats that I've seen that back that up.
Their earlier comments said she wrote SA, no SH.
You're talking about Samurai?
Yeah. Does lifestyle matter? Riddle me that. Samurai, will you join?
What
I'm
lifestyle?
confused.
I mean, there's
Iris, did you
certain.
hear from JR?
Yeah, I told him I'm not going to debate him because he came in last night and he did not have three topics, and
What? Oh my
instead
god, I
he
was waiting all
said,
day for the three topics. It's annoying, sorry.
"Yeah, exactly." Oh, he said that he didn't know he had to come up with three topics. I'm not even kidding you. And I was like, "What are you talking about? You were meant to
He
message me."
had? Oh my god. We
I'm
we
not
tried
even
to
kidding
like
you.
bully him into giving them to us on
It's
Thursday.
so annoying that he
Oh, so you are
returned.
just embedded in grape culture. Samurai, will you come up so we can like have this
Samurai will not come up.
conversation?
I know Samurai will not come up. I
Okay,
can
so
tell who would.
Samurai,
I can tell
the
who would talk and who wouldn't.
the idea that promiscuous women are more likely to be raped is a great myth, and it's used to like discredit women who are actually like raped. That whether or not you have consenting sex with someone does not make it more likely for you to have unconsensuals. Well, to be the victim of unconsensual sex.
What about
Wait, wait.
children?
I gotta read this. I gotta read this comment from YFR. We teach boys how to treat girls, but not girls how to treat boys. There is no battered men's shelter. There
There
is
literally
battered
are.
men's shelters. You fucking moron.
Okay, I will beat some bitches up if you want like a battered men's shelter.
It's like men who are like, y'all don't care about mental health. I'm like, y'all don't even fucking see your PCP.
Okay, can I ask a
Okay.
question?
That was a joke for TikTok purposes.
Go ahead,
YFR
Message.
Unlimited. Do you believe that society is gynocentric?
I doubt he knows what the word gyno means. But Kenzie, he insisted that he didn't know that he had to come back with three topics. Then he said that he wants to only do the topic I have here. And my response was, if you're going to do that, you do it on my platform. And he threw a hissy fit. And I said, okay, if you're not going to do it on my platform, I'm not going to debate you then. I felt like that was fair. If you can't
I
come up with
just
three
don't
topics,
understand like how he says I've been like number one, how do you build a platform for a month without doing like going live and shit?
I don't even understand either.
And then like we're like, tell us the topics. He's like, I'm going to release them Friday. Like he made like a whole big deal. Like he's fine.
It wasn't a
No, but
debate.
there's lots of men who've been obsessed. Do you know what I mean?
Very
No.
strange. No, I
It
agree.
seems like
It
he's
is
going to
strange.
find out what grocery store you shop at and find you in the aisles.
No, there's been other men who I would say are more likely to do that.
They find you in the aisles.
I think more men are into Irish than women.
Well, that's
Thanks,
because,
Kenzie.
well, yeah. Well,
Passive
and
aggressive.
men love men.
Passive.
Let's be honest, too. Like, men really seek validation from men.
Men are followers.
They just happen to be sexually attracted to women, some of them, but they love men.
Yeah, it's weird. Being abusive to men like turns them on. It's fucking weird. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a weird experience because in real life, like, yeah, I'm caustic, but like I don't attract these like people who like follow me around and wanna like there's men literally on this app who are thirsty for my approval. That's weird to me.
I think the men that follow you around in real life would be a little bit better at it.
Pass. So far as JR thing, are you guys saying I should do it even though he didn't come up with topics? Because my opinion was, if you're going to use my topic, then you're going to debate it on my platform. And he was like, I'm not going to do it then. Even though I told him it can be 8v1, and I told him I wouldn't mute but for these specific situations.
I'll host.
I think he'd consider you op though.
I mean, you can tell him I'll be fair. Like, I'll take away your muting privileges, and I won't. Like, cause that's why he doesn't want to do it on your platform, right? Because he'll be muted and.
No, it's because he thinks he really like he's an idiot. He genuinely thinks that if he's on my platform, that the people in the comments will REPORT him. That's why. That's the only reason he created his own platform. Because he got bananaed one time and it happened to be on my platform. Even though I warned him, you're using words that are going to get you bananaed. And then like 5 minutes later, he got bananaed.
So he didn't tell you the account then either?
No, he refused to disclose the account that he created.
This is
And honestly,
crazy.
I don't even have any
Like, I
leads.
feel like you're being lured into a TikTok live to be unalive.
Yeah, that sounds really weird.
I
This
mean,
reminds
it
me
is
that.
really weird. Like, he's gone around telling people that I'm his intellectual adversary
What?
and that I'm his number one enemy on TikTok.
We need to get a restraining order.
No,
Have a
he's
new arch nemesis?
that was the word he used. He did say arch nemesis.
That's funny.
No, but like again, there's lots of fellows who would describe me as that. It's more so I've never seen someone so focused
I'm
on wanting to
interrupting you to
debate
say that
me.
you didn't say the thing to me when I came on this panel.
Hi, Brussels. Happy birthday. Happy Black History Month. You're
There we
amazing.
go. There we go.
Oh, thank God. Jesus Christ. The sheer panic. You did remind me it's someone's birthday on 23 on the 4th or
20
something. I have
seconds.
to remember that.
Magical.
Oh, well, that's another person then. I gotta write down birthdays because like people give me so much shit if I forget them when they tell me.
Mine's in August.
Well, can you DM me? Like, don't expect me to remember that.
I want you to remember it.
I suck so bad. I mean, if I didn't have Google Alerts, I'd be screwed.
Keith is amazing at remembering people's birthdays.
Oh, get out of here, Chainsaw. Is it really?
Oh, it is Black
We'll
History
make
Month.
sure
Oh,
to Brussels sing you happy birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday. Happy early birthday.
In an accent, no less. We don't know what the accent was, but we'll have it in an accent.
Did our administration get rid of this month, or are we good?
No, it did. Yeah, there was order issued, or at least saw a stupid
That
TikTok
ain't my
video on it.
administration. The fuck?
So
You said
then we.
how? That ain't my administration. The fuck?
So
You said
then we.
Howard?
Yeah. So then. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let me rephrase. Sounds like we need to double down. Then sounds like content for this month is going to be. Dude, I'm so pissed right now. I could just.
Yeah, I'm not going to be hosting debates related to issues pertaining to the black
No,
community,
I just mean like
but I will support anyone who does that.
troll the admin
I'm not looking to get canceled again. So
again.
yeah, I was canceled yesterday, and then like 4 days before that. So like I'd like a week where a
Wait,
week
did you see
off.
the
How were
video,
you
Bobby?
canceled
Did you see the
yesterday?
video?
What
Did you
happened?
see Bobby's video?
No, which was
You
it?
didn't. Oh, hold on. I'll send it
His
to you.
videos are so boring.
He
Like
made a
I'm
video
not
about
saying
all
it.
you guys.
Hi, everyone. Bobby G here. Good to see you.
Again?
How long
Wait,
ago are you
Ash, like
talking about?
from yesterday?
He made, yeah, I think. Well, hold on. Let me look at the date on it. I gotta find it because somebody sent it in this. Hold on. Let me look.
If it's from like a week ago, I'm gonna be upset. You got me.
He was talking about like the current stuff that was going on, and he was trying to let somebody know that you guys are just doing this to everybody.
Jones. He gave a warning to Jones
Yeah.
about a week ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. I
Yeah,
hadn't
it
seen
was
it, and then somebody. Okay,
so
my bad.
annoying. I like
I'm out of the
he
loop, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Like I've had people make obsessive videos about me, right? Like Zombie has a playlist. I mean, some have gotten deleted, but she's made over 100 videos, several minutes long. But like even on her videos, she like has facial reactions that can make it engaging to watch. And so like I don't hate watching her videos on me. But Bobby, I've never encountered someone who's just that boring. Like I have genuinely, hand to God, I've not even watched, I was going to say half, but it's probably 75% of the videos that he's made on me because when I've started to, they're just so fucking boring.
You have to
So
put
I actually genuinely don't even know what he said about me.
him in
For
5 speed in order to like watch his videos. Like not even two
still
times
can't.
speed.
It's like his face doesn't move or something. Donald, what's up?
Well, this is your 47th President of the United States, and this is the account that was ready to rock and roll, Irish, okay? Everyone was ready. We could have had an amazing, fierce debate, but you fucked that up. You
That's a shame. I'm devastated.
deluded in what you've said. Everything that come out your mouth, okay, yeah, has literally been false. I've heard it all. It's false, Irish, okay? You're putting a false narrative. Now, we could have had an amazing, fierce debate on one topic alone.
So, JR, let's
Are
just
you
go
still in
slow. Let's go
character?
slow. What part is false?
Weird.
JR, what part is false?
Right. First of all,
Remember when
Irish.
Kenzie validated that
Right.
we asked and demanded that you give tree topics and you
No.
refused to, but then I said that you later came back and said that it was never your obligation to create
It doesn't matter, Irish, because I didn't need to make 3 topics because you then said, I want to pick a second topic. How would I know what to debate with you when I don't know what we're
You
even
said
going to...
you had 3 topics.
I can't keep making points if you keep interrupting me. And I'll tell you why.
Sure, but I'm going to warn you, you're going to get bananaed if that's the twice now you've used the curse word using your account. You just need to be careful. Go on.
Okay, so first of all, Irish, okay, yeah, I could not have possibly known about 3 separate subjects to present to you when I don't even know what topics we're going to collide on, apart from the ones I knew you posted on your green screen. So me and you have never actually had a debate.
I asked you for a general topic. No. I asked you for a general topic. Give us feminism. Give us liberal politics. Give us a general topic, and you wouldn't. You're like, I need to wait for the big reveal.
Let me just finish, please. Let me just finish. Okay, right, yeah. So I never knew exactly what me and Irish could collide on because me and Irish have never had any discussion about what we could future collide on regarding our debate. But what I did know is what I wanted to contest him on, okay, and discuss with him on what he has previously posted on his previous content. Now, that is what I wanted to go forward. And a file one was exactly what he's posted just there, what you
So,
can see.
JR, let me ask you a question. Did I come up with the idea for tree topics or did you come up with the idea with tree topics?
You said something about JR. You will
No,
pick
no, no.
something about JR. You will
No,
pick.
no, no. I'm talking about a month ago. I'm talking about a month ago. Did I come up with the idea of tree topics or did you?
It was actually a mutual agreement on 3 topics will be discussed in this order. The first one would be I would pick a topic which initially was yours, which would give you the advantage because you had already ran it through how many times. So therefore, even though we're going over to my platform, you would be very versed in what we're going to speak about because yes, initially it was your topic. So in theory, you get the advantage. The second one would have been
JR, relax for a moment. JR, I'm talking about a month ago.
Yeah, and that's what was said, Irish. That's what was said. And the second one, with all due respect to yourself, because I want to get this on, is you were then going to pick a second topic and tell me what it was when I told you what my first topic was. And the third one was going to be those in the comments. And I'm like,
no. So again, no. JR, what you're referring to is a conversation that we had 2 days ago, right? And in that conversation, what you're saying is that I said it's okay for you to take one of my topics. And then you're claiming that I was going to create a second topic, right?
Yes.
And then you're claiming that the third topic will be from the comments, right? And I said that would be a fun idea. However, hang on. However, that was on Thursday night. And on Thursday, you had announced to all of us that you had tree topics ready to go, but that you wouldn't share them until Friday, and that you wanted to share them on Friday. But you told us all you had tree topics ready to go. Do you remember saying you had tree topics ready to go?
No, Irish. I promise you now, I do not remember saying to you that I have 3 topics ready to go because I categorically never. And the only reason why I know that
is everyone in here wrong?
Everyone is definitely mistaken for what I've said. Yeah, without a doubt they have.
Everyone else is wrong, but not you.
Well, if you re-listen to your live, Irish, right, yeah, and which you cut and edit quite a lot with other people's lives, I'm sure you can run it back, Irish, because it was the other day, you'll find it with ease. And I'm sure...
You can remember what you said over the course of this conversation.
Okay. Well, Irish, please edit it. Yeah, please edit it and I'll come back. And if you are right, if I have said that, then wow, I will sincerely apologize to everyone. All right, yeah? And I will
No. How about this? If you said that you had tree topics ready to go...
You want me to say up the raw or something? You want me to say?
I want you to change your accounts, both accounts, to say I'm English, but I support, and then in comments, up the raw.
Go on then, Irish deal. Go on, we'll do that then. We'll do it, okay?
For the remainder of the year.
What happens then if I never said that, Irish? If I never said that, okay?
What do you want me to do?
Then
into
Then
English.
we'll go over to my live. We'll go over to my live, okay, right, yeah, on my rules, and we'll have the debate on what I want to debate when I want to debate it. And I promise you, Irish, yeah, it will be a fierce debate. Hear me out, please. It'll be a fierce debate. Hear me out, please. It'll be a fierce debate. People are ready, and people are wanting this debate. So you're missing out.
Who are the
right, yeah?
people? Who, when you say people are ready, what people are ready and people
My
want this
people
debate?
already that I've put on standby, who I go on lives with, and the
What
mods, and
people?
people that I speak to, Irish, just like you speak to people on here. You've got people in your mods that are not here, yeah. People in your guest boxes. I also do the same.
You
I
have your
also
people. All right. So, JR, let me ask you a question. Do you think you're misogynistic?
far from, because I like women. I actually do respect
Okay,
women.
you're not misogynistic. Do you think that
No,
you're
without a
very
doubt, I'm not.
rude
No,
as? Do you think you're very rude as a person?
no. I think I could be misunderstood because I've got ADHD and PTSD, and I think obviously if I speak in a different tone, it can be misconstrued that I'm being
Okay. Do you
disrespectful.
think that you attack people for no reason?
No, definitely not. Not attack them. No, hell no. I'm quite
Okay.
polite.
So again, you deny being misogynistic, right?
I totally
You
deny it.
deny being rude because you say to the extent you're rude, it's only due to
Oh,
ADHD, and
passion.
you deny attacking people. Correct?
What I do, Irish, right? I talk with passion, and it can be
Do you
misconstrued.
remember this screenshot that you sent to Stephanie, who's on your right now?
Of course I do. Yeah, of course. I own that. Totally own it. Yeah, of course I do.
What the fuck are you with your
No, no, no.
1,138? Hang on. Let me just read it. Okay? Let me just read it. What the fuck are you with your 1,138 followers, yet following 6,524? Talking about your favorite bagel spot on 8th and 23rd, no tanks, Leggett woman. Now, can you explain?
Yeah, of course I can with ease. First of all, it doesn't say what the fuck are you. It's who the fuck, yeah? Who the fuck are you, right? Yeah?
Do you not know what WTF means?
Like, listen, mate, who the fuck, that's how I meant it. Who the fuck are you? Because she added me straight after I was on your live talking to you, and she added me,
You
and
have a problem with people following you?
there's people
Follow
following me.
him because the prompt says to follow. She added him like
Of
ads.
course. But what I'm saying is, she comes straight on the back end of me talking to you, Irish. Yeah, I knew she was one of your people.
So
So
what did she say in the comments that offended you? Remembering, I have access to my comments.
you might
So
have.
what is it you're claiming she said to you that you thought
I
merited
can't
you
recall
attacking her?
exactly, Irish. I can't recall exactly.
Okay, what do you think in your head?
I can't recall, so I wouldn't want to specify what she said, but she was in the comments and then she added me, yeah? So that's what I said to her. I will own that with chest. I will own it. And I'm not being misogynistic for saying that at all. Because
JR, I know the people in my comments, right? If you told me that Carlotta said something offensive to you, I'd believe you in a heartbeat. If you told me Jeannie said something offensive to you, I'd
I'm
believe
not
it in a
saying Irish.
heartbeat.
I'm not saying
Hang on,
she's a
stop. But you're claiming that Stephanie, if you said, no, not even Kenzie, but you're telling me Stephanie said something hostile or disrespectful to you?
I haven't
I
said
don't believe that for a second.
I never said that she said anything hostile. I said
Okay,
she
so
was.
describe it. So describe the
I
type
don't know.
of
I can't
comment
remember
she made
what
that you
I
think
can't
merited
remember
that
what
response. You
I
think
can't
merited
remember
that
what
response.
comment she made. I'm not saying they were even hostile. All I'm saying is she made comments and then she added me after the live, and I knew
But
she
why
was one
did
of
you
your
mock
people.
her? She didn't hang on, she didn't add you after the live. You're saying she added you in the
Requested me,
comments.
whatever you want to say, she requested me, okay? Then I blocked the
What do you mean
account.
requested? Hang on, do you see where it says follow? That means she wasn't following you.
She
Do you
popped
not
up
see
on
that?
she popped up on my ads, Irish. She popped up on my ads, whatever. I had a
Hang
notification.
on. No, stop. Do you see where it says follow? That means that you followed her. No, that means that neither of you were following each other.
Well, Irish,
Are
she
you
popped up
telling
on
me?
mine.
Sorry, JR. You know when you're on a
Irish,
live panel and you drop off the panel? So after you dropped off the panel, her account showed up?
no, that wasn't the case. Something happened where it flashed up that she'd either follow me or something happened to get my attention where I got a notification about her account. I promise you this now. And
That's
then
what
I
I'm
saw,
saying. That happens to everyone. And when you hop
no, it
off the
doesn't happen.
live panel, it asks you if you want to follow all the people that you were on the panel with.
That's not the case because what I did then was I sent that message and then blocked the account. If you ask Stephanie, I blocked the
Can
account.
I?
Okay.
Yeah, I know you blocked me. Can I talk for a minute, JR, without you hopping off? So, yeah,
Yeah.
I followed you because you said you're going to debate Irish, and sometimes I have a hard time finding accounts. So I figured if I followed you, then when the live is happening, I can at least see where it's happening. But I don't know why you felt the need to DM me. I have never commented on you anytime you've been in our lives. I never say anything disrespectful to you. Like, I don't understand why you felt the need to send this message that I don't even deem as mean. I just don't understand why you felt the need to send it at all. Like,
Well,
I didn't say anything to you.
no, I'm not saying that you sent a message to me. I just sent that to you and blocked your
No,
account
I
because
understand that, but
Why
I
did
don't
you
understand
say
why
it
you
to her?
felt the need to say anything to me at all. All I did was request to follow you. You could have just denied the request, but instead, you popped off like a usual man
I don't
does in the
understand how
DMs.
you popped up. Something happened where you popped up. I promise you now. Otherwise,
I
apart from the comment,
promise you, I said nothing to you in the comments, and
no.
Irish
What I'm
said he
saying,
can already find them. I literally
what
J,
I'm
never say
saying,
JR,
anything.
JR, JR, if you're going to say something and you're going to promise it, then you have to describe it. Otherwise, what you're saying is, I'm a
popped
good
up.
man. I would never do something bad.
Stephanie, I believe that you did follow me, or you requested me, or something like that.
She
You would
just
have.
said she followed you. Why did that
So there you go.
result
Then. So you
in
did follow
you?
me.
Why did that result in you sending an abusive message to her?
I wouldn't say it's abusive. It isn't exactly sincere, but it's not
Who
abusive.
the
I
fuck are you? And then you mock who she's following, and then you tell her to leg it, woman.
Because obviously, I believe, right, she was going to be on my account only to gather intel for you, to spy for you. That's the only reason why I
Do you
seen
think
it.
I have people
Do you
spying
think
for
I'm on his
me?
payroll or something? Bro, be so for
Iris, you
real.
do have people that float about, mate. Come on, Molly's one of them in the bottom there. Molly's one of them.
Can I
She's
Who's
speak, please, JR,
well?
before
No,
you
no, no.
drag my
Hang on,
name?
Molly. Molly, you're absolutely allowed to speak. However, Stephanie followed you, and you suspected that she was a secret spy sent by me to do what?
just to keep tabs on an account, okay? Just to keep tabs on it, yeah? That's for no other reason than that. And that
Okay,
is why.
So JR, hear me out. When you join my panel and you tell everyone that you're going to be debating me, do you
Yeah, but not on that.
agree that it would be well, okay, it doesn't matter. Do you agree that it would not be unusual for people to follow you because they want updates on what's going to be happening or
I
they want
made
to
it
keep
clear,
track
Irish.
on when the debate's going to take place?
I made it clear, Irish, that it wouldn't be off the JR account.
JR,
I
so
made
you're
it.
saying that that's weird for someone to do that?
I'm saying, what I'm saying is that they should have known, because I said that on ample opportunities and ample time.
JR, I didn't ask you they should have known. What I asked you was you understand it's normal procedure that when you join a live and you're talking on that live, that if people want to see you again or want to hear what happens later on, they follow your account. That's normal procedure, but in your head, you turned it into some sort of personal attack and a super spy mission.
I got rid of the account after that message, so I didn't want any further involvement with that account, which I thought at the time was definitely put there because of an activity. Yeah, that when I come on your live, she see me, which you quite correctly said that she did, and then she followed me, and I blocked the account because I didn't want anything more to do with it. Not to give
But
it
you
a
could have
bad of
blocked
it.
her. Why did you message her such a rude message?
I just messaged her to let her know that I believed, obviously, what a game was, and then I got rid of her with
Where
one.
did you show what her game was? Where did you say what her game was?
Obviously, I haven't accepted this, so it's self-explanatory. It's self-explanatory, yeah.
Okay,
That
what's
I
self-explanatory in that message?
because obviously the message doesn't say, "Oh, thank you for the follow," or "How are you?" or "Yeah." Do you know what I mean? Let's get
Yeah,
to
it's
know each other.
abusing her. Why did you choose to abuse a stranger?
Well, we're
That's what I'm
going
trying
off.
to understand.
Right, right, yeah. You always try to divert from the actual focal point of what
This
we're
is the
speaking about.
No,
focal point.
he's not trying to divert. What he's trying to get you to understand is instead of being rude and writing a message like that, you could have just said, like, hey, I'm not going to be using this account much longer, so I'm not going to accept your follow. I wouldn't have cried about it. I would have moved on with my life. I actually, quite frankly, forgot that I even requested to follow you. So that's how little I think about you. I
Well,
just
okay.
don't understand. Hold on, JR. I don't understand why men constantly are the ones to do shit like this and then they
Right.
complain about it.
No, no, listen, I'm not going to complain because I will own it. I'm not denying it. I'm not saying, say, oh my God, I'm going to backtrack on this now and I shouldn't have said it. But if I've offended you in any way, I
You
will
did offend
apologize.
me, and I don't know what I possibly could have ever said to you that offended
Well,
you so
Stephanie,
badly.
Stephanie, all right, yeah, I will own it right here and now. If I've caused you any offense in any way, shape, or form,
That's
I
not
will
owning it. That's not
I
owning it.
okay, okay then. I will. What
Owning
do you want
it,
me to do?
owning it is sure. Owning it is saying this. Looking at that message now, I was abusive, and you did nothing to me, and that was abusive of me, and I'm sorry. That's owning it. Instead, what you're saying is, if you feel like that was a mean message, then I'm sorry.
Of
That is
course,
objectively a rude, abusive message that you sent to someone for no reason.
it's not rude and abusive. It's not actually where's that abusive, Irish? Where is it actually abusive? Where I'm physically attacking her? I'm just saying. Read it out, Irish. One
Sure.
more.
Well, hang on. You asked where is it abusive? Where you curse at her by using the F word, where you then mock her because you don't agree with her ratio of who she's following and not, which is fucking weird. And then you indicate that you watched her videos, which is creepy. And then you tell her to leg it, and then you, for no reason whatsoever, decide to remind her she's a woman as if you're putting her in her place. Do I really have to point out how that message is rude, abusive, misogynistic? Were you raised by humans?
Well, first of all, Irish, right? Yeah, okay. I looked at one video to see who the hell she was, and then got onto it that she was the woman that was on your live. I watched one video of I don't know how many. Then I blocked the account, so it's
But
hardly creepy. But it's
you had
still.
no reason, and then mock her about the video.
Let me finish, Irish. Let me finish. So I watched the video. I watched it once, one video, and then I blocked it. So it's hardly stalking or creepy because she followed me. I never followed her, you idiots. Okay, Irish, yeah? Now getting back to the
TikTok,
actual
hang
video.
on, you moron. TikTok is for people following one another. If someone comes in, you keep on thinking people in my live want to report you, whereas people in my live want to see me embarrass you. They don't want to harm you. So when you complain that they follow you, that's you complaining about how TikTok works, bro.
Well, Irish, when I've been on this account, and I'm going to stipulate one more time, regardless of what you said before to, I think her name was, is it Kenzie? I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. Is it Kenzie, her name? You said to her before, JR was bananaed once on this account. I was bananaed twice off your account, twice. And it's only ever happened on your account, Irish. Regardless of the reason, it only ever happens on your account. And I can have the same conversations with other people in the same tone and not get bananaed,
Yeah,
Irish.
but JR, you came into Irish's lives at a really,
No, I
really
didn't.
bad time for this group. You came in while we were dealing with someone that really doesn't like us and does nothing but try to get our lives taken down. So
Who's
it's
that?
not
Me.
our fault that your lives got taken down.
That's fine.
However,
Yeah,
I
but
don't deserve to be spoken to like that by anybody, especially by a stranger on the internet. That was incredibly rude of you. I did nothing to you. All I did was request to follow you, and I don't think that that was very nice of you. You shouldn't treat
well,
people like that at all.
well, first of all, who was attacking his lives? I'm not saying you said it was me or you're insinuating it was me, but who was attacking his lives at a bad time? What do you mean?
That weirdo booby, the border guard guy. He
Oh, I have
still
no.
doesn't like us. He would still come for us if he could. I think he's gotten tired of us. Thank God, because he's boring as fuck.
Well, I have no idea who he is, and I genuinely have no idea. But I was getting bananaed, and even though Irish was putting pictures of me up on the screen of me and attacking me with all his little minions, yeah, I still accepted that. I didn't report it or nothing,
How did I attack you?
but I was getting shut up, Irish, a minute. So I was getting bananaed for what he was doing. For what
Okay,
he was
apologies,
doing.
JR.
Okay.
JR, but so you're taking things out on me in my DMs because of something that Irish may or may not have done to you?
No, I
How does
was
that
just
seem fair?
no,
Seems
Stephanie. What I was
abusive.
doing was basically taking action by taking a precaution. That's all I was
But
doing.
but what precaution? It would have made sense if I had been saying vile things to you in your DMs and then that's what upset you. I said nothing to you. All I did was follow you.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to do the apology, not how Irish said it. I want to do it how I say it, okay? And I'm going to say it because I mean it like this. If I offended you in any way, if what I said has offended you, I will sincerely apologize to you for that, okay?
If
Before,
and will, okay, sir. Like, come on, learn how to apologize to people. This is silly
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
You're a
I'm
grown
owning,
man.
I'm owning it. That's what I'm saying to you.
But
Okay.
you're not. You're saying if you did
Like
something,
Irish,
then
you're
you
a bit
will.
weird.
If
Do
then
you think that
statements
this
are not the
message was
same.
rude? Do you think this message was rude?
I would say it's just over the borderline, pointing towards rude, but it's not physically attacking her in a
I
like
didn't
say.
ask if it's a message can't physically attack,
But you know what
right?
I'm saying? Psychologically attacking her in a harmful way because
JR, JR, I didn't ask is it psychologically attacking her psyche. I asked you, do you agree that this message is rude?
it's over the borderline. I would say it's not
So
polite, but
it's not rude?
I would say it's over the borderline of not being polite. That's what I would say. That's what I
Okay,
would say.
I'll help you. It's rude as fuck. And if
Yeah,
I was to go up to your mother and say, "Who the fuck are
you
you?"
always bring that.
You would think that that's rude.
You always bring the mother into it. Right?
Yeah,
WTF?
because would you like someone? Would you like someone going up to your mother saying, "Who the fuck are you?" Would you like that?
Right, Irish, you always say a big thing about the mother, and I refuse to answer that question because every time you bring something up, it's always about mothers all the time. You're
Yeah,
obsessed with it.
that's to make you care because you don't apparently care about
You're
anyone.
also obsessed with the word misogynist. You use that all the time. You also post pictures.
You're
Irish,
definitely a misogynist.
okay, that's what you're saying. Okay, but Irish, a lot
Hey,
of women.
hang on. Let me be clear, Jr. You literally think that men are women's masters. Like you are definition of a misogynist.
Okay, in your theory, theosis, then yeah, maybe that's
Do you
what
think
you're.
that men are masters and women are submissives?
No, no, I do not think that whatsoever. I think we're both equal. I think we can play equal parts. I don't think one's superior to the other. I think women give birth to children and they do it very well and they raise the kids and they probably do the hardest job on the planet. Something that I wouldn't obviously want to do because I don't think I'd be equipped to do that, especially
Okay,
giving
so
birth.
you're saying that you don't. You're saying that
I
you
don't
don't
feel
believe that that men are the masters of women.
I don't feel that men are the masters of women. I think we're equal because there's some things that women can do that men can't, and some things that men can do that women can't. I think together, right? Yeah, when we put things to the table, we've got advantages and disadvantages over each other. Whether it's evolution, whether it's obviously skills and talent, or whether we're just naturally gifted with it, we all bring things to the table. But I never look down at a woman. In
Well,
fact,
clearly you do because you had some shit to say in my comments.
right.
Why are you so weak? This is
Thank you
about her
very much.
following you. Hold on, I have a question. Why are you so weak and
Why am I
crying
so?
so much? I've been sitting here listening. This whole conversation is because she hit a follow button. I follow tons of opposition to see when they go live. I'm just curious, why are you crying about this to the point where like you
Why
are
do I have it
wait, you are
mentioned?
such a beta cuck right now. Like I've never in my life listened to a grown fucking adult complain so much about a woman who hit a fucking red button on a computer screen and you thought that it was okay to send that fucking message and now you have the fucking audacity to stand up here and say it's so like over the border. Like what the fuck does that mean? What word describes the message that you sent? If it's not polite, but you won't admit it's rude, what's the word? What's the word for that message right
Right,
there?
but what I'm saying to you is, okay, ask me
Well,
whatever your
why
name.
don't you just answer that question? What's the name?
Jr.
I
Answer the
wasn't complaining.
question.
Well,
I
how would you
wasn't
describe that
complaining.
message? If it's not rude, but it's not polite, right? Like how would you describe that message?
I wouldn't say
Jr.
it's
You said
aggressive.
it's not. You said what it's not. You said it's not polite. So what is it?
I would say personally, yeah, you could take it out of context and think
No, it's
that's
not
rude.
taken out of context. This is
It's
like the
not.
equivalent of if
It's not
somebody
because
waved at you out in public and you said, "Who the fuck are you?" to them. It's fucking rude. Just because it was beyond a computer screen and you used WTF like a child doesn't mean that you weren't saying, "Who the fuck are you?" and then continued with abusive language after that to insult her, right? So what was it? Literally,
I,
It,
like you're so weak.
okay, that's fine.
Jr. It's just more so. It's just more
You're
so the
welcome.
fact that you keep. Hang on, Jr. It's just more so. What's frustrating is the fact that you just keep lying and lying and lying. Does this set of DMs look familiar to you, Jr.?
Is that me and Molly yesterday?
Yeah. Who's the master you're referring to?
Obviously, you.
So you do think that men are the masters of women?
I believe that. No, 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 not at all. Not in the whole context, but in this occasion, I
Am
think.
I? Do you think I'm a man?
I think Molly is influenced by you, and without a doubt, I'm not the first person to say it, Irish. But that doesn't
What
mean just
makes
because
her influenced by me? Is it because she's got a fragile female brain?
Because Irish, she's heavily influenced by you, and in some words that she speaks, she even speaks like you. Okay, and I've made.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm feeding her
Sounds like
things to
you're mad
message
that
you. How
she's not
paranoid are
heavily
you,
influenced
JR?
by you. Are you mad
May
that
I
are
say
you mad no
something?
women are heavily influenced by you? Are you mad that nobody likes you? It sounds like maybe you're just jealous that there are women that gravitate towards Irish, maybe because they find him safe, maybe because he has their back, maybe because he doesn't send aggressive, ridiculous messages and DMs. I don't know. It really sounds like jealousy to me because women don't, or they're not influenced by you. The only thing that you're influencing is for me to cover my drink. That's the only thing you've influenced.
Irish, may I say something?
Yeah, Molly, now absolutely go for it.
Yeah, so just a few things I want to mention from conversations that I've had with JR. So first, obviously the master thing. It's not just that screenshot. He said it multiple times. I did clarify that, Irish was not my master. He also said about that we telepathically communicate, as if that's a thing. And then basically went on to, especially obviously this morning, which I wasn't here for. JR, let me finish. You kept going on about yesterday and today about how I'm this big distraction. And then I've sent Irish the screenshots, and I know you're going to go out there about it, but it's true. You then went on to say that basically I was to blame for the live debate not going ahead because, I only really spoke to you properly since yesterday, the day before that. And since then, you've been saying it's all ruined because of me and my distraction. And then you went on to say that I was a worthy opponent to debate, but I was this big distraction and I basically ruined it because of me. And it was just a lot of like, hold on here. You had a whole month to come up with your prompts to get this debate going, right? And I only spoke to you for the last few days. So how can you all just like put this on me and blame it on me? It's like I've done nothing. And now you're saying that I'm talking too much. I ruined the negotiations and I need to stop talking. Like, who are you to tell me what to do and what to say? Like, I'm not being lectured by a man who I don't know that well. It's just straight up condescending and misogynistic when I've done nothing to you and you've just blamed this whole thing on me. It's just not on, JR. It's just really not on.
Right. First of all, right, I think in the messages you will see clearly. So you're not showing the messages where I've said there was three reasons why it got derailed. The first one, okay, was because there was a miscommunication. The second one is that your interference definitely didn't help, and the third one was that Irish changed the goalpost. Are now saying that he'll only have it on his live and saying that he said that I should bring him three topics, okay, to choose from. That's what I've said to you. I have said that.
How was it my interference? I spoke to you yesterday, the day before. You can't put that on me. The only thing I said is that it didn't look like you were where you said you were. It looked like you were in a bowling alley. And then you kept speaking over me. No, let me finish. You kept speaking over me. So I was like, JR, 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 because I'm not going to let a man who's quite frankly misogynistic and just a bit of an arse speak over me. Like, it's not going to happen. You're going to wait and you're going to listen until I stop talking, and then it will be your turn, okay?
Well, you keep interrupting me and not letting me flow. So obviously,
Because you're interrupting me, okay? I'm not going to play this little two-year-old's game, okay? No, JR, shush. JR, I'm still talking. I am still talking.
JR, let
Right?
Molly finish, and I'll
J,
let Molly finish, and then I'll let you go, JR.
okay? Thank you.
right, I'm going.
JR, why am I still hearing your voice? Why am I still hearing it?
JR,
Okay?
let her finish, and then I'll let you finish, JR. I'll give you the space to talk, I promise.
Um, I've had multiple conversations with you, and at one point you basically straight up asked for my number, and then you were yes, you
He
did.
didn't ask for your number. That's ridiculous.
I never
Are you
asked you.
saying he actually asked for your phone number?
Get the screenshots up now.
No. I say like communicate.
Molly, I will
That's
screenshot.
wild. If only there was a way to prove that he asked for your Snapchat and that was being creepy. If only
No,
there were screenshots to show that. That's weird. Do you have any of
Yeah.
those screenshots? Oh, you sent them to me telepathically. They just popped on the screen. Look at that. That's amazing.
I have got messages on there. Okay,
Why
that
did you ask Molly for her Snapchat?
Where did I actually ask? Where does it say, give me your Snapchat? What does it say?
Exchange. Do you see that? We could exchange Snap. Do you not see that part of the
Being
conversation?
sarcastic after what she said about it. It was
Oh,
being
you were being
sarcastic.
sarcastic, so we're taking it out of context.
Of course you are,
Did
because I
she
said,
ask for your
That's
Snapchat?
interesting.
let me screenshot it and let
No,
me
I
zoom
didn't
in.
ask for your Snapchat,
One
did I,
second.
JR?
1 second.
That's weird. Why did you want her Snapchat?
That's quite
JR, come
interesting.
back. We just want to know why you
JR's
thought that she
screenshotting the message.
was
I'm
someone
being
who was
sarcastic.
submissive to men and then you wanted her to be snapping
I
you.
didn't
Like,
want a
can you just
Snapchat. It
explain that?
says on there, I don't want it. It says, after yesterday, I don't think I'd ever use it again.
Oh, that's
Read at the
how
bottom there.
insecure. So let me help you. That's how insecure men ask for Snap, is that you want to create plausible deniability that if they say no, that you can turn around and say, only joking. It's like guys who
Not at
say,
all.
can I have sex with
Literally.
you? And when they say
If I
no,
want her
you're
Snap,
like,
Irish, I'm
only
going to ask
And
her.
joking.
do you know what's even funnier is the fact that the minute that I basically called you out on it and I was like, haha, like, tell me the debate topics. And then basically the minute that you thought I was rejecting you, you just sent me this long ass paragraph about these reasons about how you didn't ask for my number and you said exchange digit by digit. That's not what this screenshot says, right? And you can take as many screenshots of the messages as you want, but you can quite literally see that you're a misogynistic piece of ass who thinks that men are masters of women, that think that I don't have an independent mind and I just follow Irish around like a lost puppy. Like, come on, bro.
But
Like,
Molly, it's not like he said like he wants you to be a good little girl for him or anything weird like that. Like it
oh
wasn't like he
yeah,
was
God no.
overtly, yeah, it wasn't like he was overtly sexual by saying that you should be good to him and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because that would be,
So, Molly, why would you add me?
unacceptably.
One
Hang on,
second.
JR, because JR,
No,
that
no,
would be
no.
I
unacceptably
can't talk.
a
You want to
weird,
explain?
creepy thing. Can I
Yeah.
ask you, why did you say if you're good and play your cards right? Molly, if you're good and play your cards right, you can have that exact suite, but first, you need to win the key.
Exactly, because obviously I'm taking the piss, Irish, and I'll tell you how I know I'm
Oh,
taking.
that was sarcasm as
You
well.
know why? Do you know why, Irish? Because I said to her on the messages, if I accept you, Molly, or worse as affect you, I know for a fact that you're going to report back to Irish. So why would I let you on my at TikTok? I might as well ask the cat to look after the pigeons when I go to the shop, yeah, or the butcher when I go to the shop,
Do you
knowing full
talk to men
well,
about
I'm going
being
to
good little
report back to you.
boys? Or do you only talk to women about being good little girls?
No, listen, you're going off track here. So I said to her, why are you adding me? Why do you want to? I said, come on, JR, just accept me. And I knew what she was going to do. I'd
Really?
already.
I'm not seeing that in the screenshot. Was that all in your head?
Tell you what I'll
No, the
do.
first thing is he sent me, so I requested to follow him. This was like days ago because I wanted to know when this debate was going to be happening. I didn't send him any message. He then basically sends me this long message being like, you know, oh, I was only supposed to come up here for 2 minutes because we were talking about the whole bowling alley live. But I ended up there for like 2 hours. So clearly you did something right. And then basically was like, oh, why should I let you pass? And then, yeah, it was just very weird. I mean, yes, I was kind of pulling you along, and yes, I kind of was being a little bit nice to you, just for like my own purposes.
Of
But
course, no. I read it, and I know I've said it to you on the messages. I knew what you were doing. Oh my God, I said it to you. The reason
Then
why you asked
if you knew what she was doing, why did you fail so miserably in your messages to her?
I
Wait,
never. She's taken it. Listen, I've got messages on here that I could go and screenshot and put them on. Okay,
I've seen every
can
single
I
message. None
can
of them
I
make her
just
look bad.
I've
make an
sent Irish.
observation?
every
Sorry, one
single
second.
message.
I've sent Irish every single screenshot of what I've said and what you've said. So he has everything here, okay? So he's
Let
not
him read
taking
it
it out
from
of
start to finish.
context.
Then let him read it. Let him read every single message from start to from top to finish.
Oh,
Now,
do it.
go on.
Sure,
Irish, read
yeah.
it.
Hang on, let me quote this. Yeah, Molly, I enjoyed our banter back and forth
Yeah,
and
because I
thought you
did.
spoke real well, to be honest. You kept me up there for 2 hours. Is
Yeah,
that not
because
what
I
you
was
said to
on
her?
there for 5 minutes. I only come on for 5 minutes, Irish.
You're
Yeah.
there for like 2+ hours.
So there you go. Maybe 2 plus hours. Yeah, I admit that, not a problem. But I found it funny. I actually found it funny, and I
You
give her
found what
credit.
funny?
I found it. I give her credit for that. For me, but for you and her and me to be talking for over 2 hours when I generally came on for literally 5 minutes. That's what I wanted to
Can
come
I
for.
can I ask you a question? Do you ordinarily say to women, "I spy with my little eye something
Yeah,
beginning with the
beginning with
letter
M.
M"?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm calling
can I
her a
make an
That's a
spy.
observation real
little
quick, Irish?
creepy. Yeah, go for it.
Because I'm
So
calling her a spy.
Carlotta jumped what I was gonna say in the comments, but yeah, why? So Molly and I did the exact same thing. Followed you after you were on the panel, and yes, Molly physically spoke to you. Cooper, back up. I'm sorry, my cat's swatting at my hand. But Molly physically spoke to you, and you claim I said something to you in the comments. Now he went off app, and I'm not going to finish what I'm saying till he's back on the app, and I know he's
You're right.
listening.
Wait till he comes back.
He's just like screenshotting every single thing right
I'm
now,
sure he is.
even though.
While we're tell me when he comes back. I'll keep
Oh, he's
reading.
back.
Molly,
Okay.
you'll get your pass. Just be a little bit more patient, as all good things come to those who wait. Molly.
Of
Do you know
course
what my
I
Sorry, go
favorite
ahead.
thing was? Is when
Oh my God.
when JR said that he wanted to invite me up to the presidential suite.
Wait, let me
Yeah,
get
sorry.
back to
Go
what I was
ahead.
saying. That's
Yeah,
okay.
Len. Yeah.
So, JR, so Molly and I did the exact same thing in the exact same context, except she actually spoke to you. You claim I said something to you in the comments, but Molly got these really weird, like you trying to be sweet to her messages, but obviously they're very weird and you should not do these. But
What's my first one?
I got the abusive, angry message. What the fuck's
Hmm.
that about?
I wasn't angry at all. I just dismissed it. There was no anger in
Okay,
it.
but you didn't have this lengthy conversation with me. That's what
I
I'm
never.
trying
I
to
wasn't.
say to you.
I wasn't angry when I sent that to you. Far from it. I wasn't showing any anger. I just thought,
Okay,
right,
hang on. You showed contempt. You sent her an impolite message, correct? Why did you send an impolite message to Stephanie, but when Molly did it, you asked her for her snap?
I never asked her for her snap. I was taking.
We simply
Did.
exchange numbers and
No.
communicate
Listen to me.
to
Listen to
get
me, Irish.
the
Irish, listen
juices
to me. You're taking it
flowing.
out of context, right? After what you said about the snap, I said to her, after what you said yesterday, I'll never use it again. So I was actually mocking what was being said the day before, making light of the conversation. I
But then
never
what
said
about communicating with the phone numbers? Like, what was all that about? You
it
asked
was.
my number and my snap. Like, it's really cute
No,
how
I never
obsessed you
asked for
are
your
with
number
me.
or snap. No,
I
I
mean,
did
like,
not. No,
sure.
I didn't ask for your number. No, I did
You
not.
did. We said it was
I never
simply
asked for your number.
Hang on,
communication.
hang on, hang on,
It
hang
was
on. Let me read it
sarcastic.
out. Let me
Go
read
on.
it out. What he said was, I said we can exchange numbers, a digit for a digit. What were you talking about there? When you said, I said we
It's
can
sarcastic.
exchange
After what
numbers.
she was saying, it's called
Where's
sarcasm.
the sarcasm again?
It is sarcasm. After what she said
So when
initially
you engage in
about the
sexual
snap.
harassment, it's sarcastic? Is that what you're saying?
What? So that's sexual harassment. What is that? What you're saying there? That's sexual harassment. Oh my God, Irish, you are so
Wait,
far.
Yes.
let me ask you a question. Do you think what you're saying to her is sexual?
No, it's no sexualist. Where's that sexual, Irish? Where's the sexual tones in that?
Because, JR, you invited me up to the presidential
It was.
suite. And
Oh
if I
my
was
God.
good and played my cards right, I could win the key. And the way that I could win the key, exactly what you said, is by like swapping numbers. So you were you were kind of implying something
I said. I
sexual by
said.
being like, I'll take you, JR, let me finish. Um, you know, I'll give you the key to the presidential suite. We can get you straight through reception with loads of winky faces. And then, JR, why am I still hearing your voice?
It
Jared,
was.
let her finish and I'll mute. I'll absolutely mute everyone else
Saying
so that
it.
you
No,
can
no,
respond.
no, Irish, because you keep saying it and you don't do it. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me
Okay,
finish.
so Molly, I'm gonna let him
Okay.
go. Hang on, Jr. I'm gonna let you speak. I will. I just want to add another little bit of this. Is I am looking at the part where you're bragging about your sexual conquest, and you talk about the fact that I have Scouser birds around me, girl, the sassiest and classiest in the UK. It's
Of
weird.
course,
Okay,
Irish.
so
But
go ahead. You can respond, Jr.
she said at first her accent was better than mine, so it was a joke about the accents, Irish. Yeah, that's what I was referring to because everything in there.
What do classiest and sassiest mean?
Yeah, Irish. Everything that she said to me, right, yeah, is in response in her messages there. So I am actually being sarcastic. It's sarcasm, Irish. And I knew that she would screenshot. I knew that she would screenshot and report back to you. And it says that in some of the messages, which I will find. It says everything that we're saying will go back to Irish. That's what you're on my account for. I spy with my little eye, something beginning with M. That's what it means. Like she's a spy for you. Knowing full well that what I say, knowing full well that what I say to her will go back to you, whether it's on screen or whether it's verbal. I knew what she was doing, so I was being sarcastic and just rolling with it. Of course.
So let me read this part. You have elegance, and it's concealed by deception. You
Yes.
are the forbidden fruit.
Of course. Of
Wait,
course.
these are real messages he sent her?
I'm literally,
Oh
you
my
are the
God.
forbidden fruit.
Can we get the forbidden
Irish,
fruit
it's a being
screenshot up here,
I
please?
respect your wit and extensive vocabulary. Believe me,
Well, how
I
was that
do.
being misogynistic?
And
Can
you're
we-
gifted natural attributes.
Yeah, can we get that screenshot on the screen if that's okay, please,
Sure,
Irish? Because I
I'm
feel
working on
like the
it.
emojis tell
I'm
a
working on it
story.
because then he adds, and check-ins for the Renaissance Suite are fully
Does it
booked
even
for now.
exist? The Renaissance
But
Suite
I will be back in
exists,
touch
Irish.
when reservations are next available.
Yes, Irish, because it is Irish. The Renaissance Suite doesn't even exist, my friend. Doesn't
Renaissance
even
Suites is
exist.
part of a Marriott chain of hotels. What are you talking about?
So you were just flirting. You were flirting, and she didn't reject you. So now she rejected you. So now you're joking. This is
Classic.
this is a script. I mean, we've all lived through this. Every woman up on this panel has had a man flirt with them. We've rejected them, and then they've cussed us. They've called us ugly, or they said they were just joking. I didn't want you anyway. This is literally a script, and we're all laughing at you.
Yeah, the forbidden fruit screenshot particularly is really just concerning. And then the presidential suite bit, and the way to win the key to the presidential suite is to give you, my number and my Snapchat. That was basically it, which is just wild.
What if she had given you this info? Would you have rejected? Hold on. If she had given you her Snap, would you have rejected it and said, I was just joking, I didn't want it? Or
What she said, I wouldn't have spoken to her on Snap. Definitely not. No, I wouldn't have.
oh yeah, sure.
That there is me.
Absolutely. You would never send messages on another social platform because you don't have a history of sending messages on social media platforms. You would never contact her on Snapchat if she gave it to you, would you? You would never.
Did I send her my Snap? Did I send her my Snap?
No, because you asked for it to exchange digit by digit. Did you miss that part?
Wait, 1 second. Answer the question. Did I send her my Snap or give her my number? Did I?
No, you offered to.
You about your Snap. I said, what if she had given you yours? And you said I would never reach out on her Snap. And I'm pointing out that you have no problem sending messages to women on social media platforms. So why would we believe that if she had given you her Snap that you wouldn't be reaching out there? You're so full of shit.
Iris, can I just give Kenzie the down low quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
Because Kenzie just joined. So basically, JR shush. So basically, Kenzie, I had been DMing him, and he had DM'd me first. And he was basically saying, JR, why am I still hearing your voice? Why am I still hearing your voice? Shush. But JR, oh my God.
JR, I'm just going to mute you just so that she can finish, and then I will happily unmute you so that you can respond.
Kenzie a really quick summary. So basically, he was up for the debate, but then the prompts that he gave me and Irish yesterday were basically the ones that Irish had already used. So it was like, why have you created this whole platform? You've had a month to do it, and you can't even come up with original prompts. And then he went on to say that I was the cause of the issue. Basically, I was to blame because I was a distraction. I destroy anything. And because I talk too much. And I needed to save my fire. It was giving me this whole lecture, this condescending lecture about, how I need to save my fire for the debate. And then he also said some interesting things. He was saying that I was a forbidden fruit. I have natural attributes, and Irish is my master. And basically, if I... What was it? It was... Oh, yeah. So he was going to invite me up to the presidential suite. Wait for it. He was going to invite me up to the presidential suite, but first I needed to earn a key. And the way I could do that is by, giving him my number and my Snapchat. So
that would be
and he was
this
saying
part.
if I'm good and play my cards right. Oh, it was just, I mean, yes, I was kind of stringing him along, but it was very one-sided. And
Oh,
yeah,
I
I'll let
saw
Irish
all the
take over.
receipts. No, he's definitely trying his hand here.
There's so many
Not Irish.
receipts.
Irish,
It was
definitely not.
flirting.
JR.
Let me finish, Irish, please. Let me finish now. You've rolled for a
JR,
bit.
well, JR, I will let you
Respond.
respond. Can I ask you a question though?
No, you can't. Let me respond. No,
You're
you
not
can't.
coming to these
No,
lives. I
no,
just
you're
want to
not.
make sure that you're not
No,
coming to these
Irish,
lives
Irish.
in order
I
to
want to
pick up
respond to
women, are
this.
you?
I want to respond to this, Irish. Okay, yeah. First of
Okay,
all,
go
right,
ahead.
she added me. I never added her.
Oh, she asked for it, is what you mean.
Okay, so she requested
No,
me
I
to come.
didn't. I
Right, so
requested, you messaged me.
I said you requested me. That's what I just said, yeah. So 1 second, please,
That's
Mark.
following. Following is
Right.
not requesting interaction with you, you weirdo.
I
Is
was
your
on a
account
private account.
private?
On a private, yes, I was on private account. Yeah. Okay. So she was saying
Okay,
to me,
so she
"JR,"
requests to follow you, and
she
then
was
you
saying to
DM
me,
her.
let me come in. Let me come in onto your TikTok. Yeah, I was saying, what for?
Wait. I just want to make sure. She requested to follow you, and you DM'd her.
She sent me a follow, right? And I thought,
That's a
why you?
yes or no. That's a yes or no. She requested to follow you,
I messaged her to
and
say,
you
why?
DM. Wait, are you listening? I
Yeah,
just want a yes or no.
I answered her. I answered her because I said
She
to her,
requested to follow you, and you DM'd her, correct?
asking her what did she want, asking
Why
her
can't
what
you
did
just
she
say
request.
yes or no?
Yes, you messaged
It's
her.
self-explanatory. It's so
So
Kenzie.
you
It's
did. So the answer is yes. So the answer is yes. You
Why do
did
you wait?
DM
Why did
her.
you need to know what she wanted? Isn't
I'm
a
not
follow?
denying it.
Isn't wait? No, hold on. A follow is also self-explanatory. A follow means she wanted to follow
Irish,
you. That's
Irish,
it.
let me
That's
take some
it. That's it. She
screenshots.
got what she wanted.
Irish, let me take some screenshots and then put me on a big screen, okay?
No,
Okay.
I mean, can you respond to what Molly or what Ash just said?
Let me come back and let me get these screenshots, mate, and I will come
Can
back.
you respond to what Ash just said?
What did Ash just say again?
You didn't listen to her. Just
You
listen
said
for a moment.
you said that the reason you messaged her was self-explanatory or whatever. But right. But my question is, she followed you. That's self-explanatory. You said that you were asking her what she wanted. She didn't want anything. She followed you. That's self-explanatory. That is what she wanted.
Yeah,
Period.
but what I'm saying to you is because I knew what her game was, and it's all in there. If you put the screenshots on, what I've said,
All she did was follow
and,
you.
and I said that she
Oh
never
my
denied me.
god, this is a man's
Right,
brain?
listen,
Yes.
1 second. Let me get these screenshots, Irish. Let me
Is
come
it
back.
hard
Irish
being
has
this
all
Irish,
the
Irish,
stupid?
1
screenshots.
second. I'm not going to fall into this trap right yet of getting skirted around the facts.
What trap?
Let me,
I
You
just
play
asked
toxic.
you, did she
Kenzie,
request to follow you and you messaged her?
requested, because I was on private, it says Molly has requested to follow.
Wait. I just want a yes or no. I just want a yes or no. Did she
Right,
request to follow you
he requested,
and
I
you
already answered
messaged
to
her?
Kenzie. I'm not saying that, but that didn't happen. I've already said it. Okay?
So
I
the answer's
requested, but
no.
you messaged
Right, so
me.
do me a favor, right? Let me go away now. Let me take some screenshots and come back and then put me on the big screen.
Hang on. All right, I'm going to be super
Who
clear,
is this
JR.
guy?
I'm not putting a single thing up on the background until you answer some questions. If you want to come back and defend yourself, if that's what you're saying, that's fine, but you're not
I
addressing
messaged her
anything anyone is saying.
I messaged her after I got a request saying that she wanted to follow me. Yes,
Why
I
did you
did.
message her?
To make it known that I knew what she was up to, which I'm going to get you the messages now. If you
Okay,
give me
stop.
Wait.
Why did you feel like you had to tell her, I know why you followed me? Why did you have to tell her that?
That is strange. Why are men so
Or why couldn't
strange?
he just reject the request? That would also be self-explanatory.
So I'll read your request. Your very first request was also offensive. Hey, Molly. Or let me go. Hey, Molly. Oh, I wonder what your suspicious request is all about. Since apparently I spoke to you in a
Why?
assertive tone by calling you a sick, twisted fuck. So wouldn't that be a no-no? Smiley face. We have nothing
I
in
will.
common apart from we're both aware of Irish. So you want to see what you can get on my profile? Well, okay. Game on.
But
Irish
Don't
even
you
actually,
just that
think it's a
first
little
message is nicer than what
strange?
he said to me. Like,
this would
Yeah,
be
I
a
just
I
don't
good
You're an
enjoyed.
understand.
Irish
Can
spy?
I finish? Hang on. Yeah, I enjoyed the banter back and forth and thought you spoke well, to be honest, keeping me up for 2 hours. But anyway, my intellectual foe, what have you got to say before I decide to let you pass or not? So
Irish,
fucking creepy.
I think you could make a series on this if people sent you like gross messages.
Look, after listening to Justin Baldini, like I don't think I've a fucking my voice sounds like shit. Like that was a sex god. Do you think that's a normal thing to send to a woman?
No, and what's up with his emoji?
No,
The amount of winky
no.
faces I got, and about, if I give him my number, I can get into the presidential suite and get the key. And yeah, bear in mind, he did also swear at me the night before, literally calling me a sick, twisted fuck, because I said his CASIN, looked like a bowling alley.
It's a little weird,
those
JR.
emojis,
What the fuck?
who types with the emojis like that in conversations? Like that many emojis.
The
45-year-old
poems that
man.
I got, the long ass paragraphs were something else. And I love how he's like gonna go get the screenshots as if I haven't sent Irish all of them.
You know
I don't know what Molly is talking about.
You know he asked ChatGPT to write that out for him with emojis.
Oh yeah.
I am perplexed.
Any type of way, like
I'm
Do
gonna
men
say
think
this.
they're funny and they think they're desired? Because even Irish thinks like everyone has a crush on him. Why is that?
I think
Everyone has a crush on me.
they're performing for other
That's not
men.
true.
I do. I think they're performing for other
Oh,
men.
that's
Well, JR, you're failing in my eyes because this shit is disappointing. I'm reading everything. Jesus Christ, you talk a lot, JR.
I know, the amount of paragraphs he would be typing for like half an hour.
like you
Shut
should
up.
talk Irish.
Shut up, Kenzie. But no one's able to go through like I DM a lot as well. All right, but these are weird DMs, all right? If
Yeah,
my
I can't wait
DMs
till
with
he comes
anyone
back.
ever got released, I don't think I'd be embarrassed. This is embarrassing.
I got a DM this morning.
You don't think you'd be embarrassed?
I don't think so.
Uh-oh. That sounds like
I don't think so. If Kenzie was released my DMs, if I released her DMs, no, I think that I would win the embarrassment game on her behalf.
I just want to know why JR can't be like other men, like the one who sent me a message this morning that just said pussy. Why can't that's it. Just one word, pussy. That was good,
Well, at least it's honest.
How long do we think this is gonna take him?
Wait, I'm actually not looking at my screen because I'm so busy like downloading all this stuff. Is he still in here with us?
No,
He's gone to go get screenshots.
Oh, well, when he rejoins, I'm not going to let him talk. So we didn't know we were going to, just for everyone in here, because I don't know if he's listening or not, we had these screenshots and we were going to do this on Sunday, but it looks like Molly got a little impetuous and wanted to do it early. So I didn't have all the screenshots set, but there's like 20.
That's
And
loads.
they're all fun. Like they all have something good in them.
of him.
And don't get me wrong. Is he here right now? Let me just check.
There's that.
He's not here right now. So I will say this: like I do like to keep my record on receipts pretty valid. Is there cropping that's been done in order to be a little bit more insidious? Yes, because I don't think Molly. Is it fair to say you're not trying to say that he engaged in sexual inappropriate conduct? Is that fair to say?
No, I think I was just kind of like, I just kind of wanted to string him along and see. But I do think he has a lot of misogynistic tendencies.
Oh,
And his
100%.
language is horrendous. And he was definitely sexually suggestive,
Yeah,
sorry.
I would. Yeah, I would agree with that. The reason why I'm saying it is that like I am being a little bit more playful with some of these cuts in order to like make them look horrible. So nobody read too much into it, but
Yeah.
they are still pretty like they're pretty embarrassing. There's no question they're fucking really embarrassing. Like,
JR's
why does he
apparently
go
still
around
here.
saying things like? Why does he go around saying things like? Yes, I enjoyed the banter back and forth and thought you spoke well, keeping me on there for 2 hours plus. But anyway, my intellectual foe, what have you got to say before I decide to let you pass? It's so weird to phrase it like that, JR. You didn't
Look,
message Stephanie like that.
Irish, you're reading
Yeah,
it in
what's
the
up?
wrong voice. Okay? I need you to try and channel your inner Gollum from Lord of the Rings. And
Molly?
no,
Oh,
no,
I
no,
wonder.
hold on.
Okay, that's all I can do. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. It's been a while. Let me see if I can give it a go. I'll just read what you have up here and we'll see how it
Go
fits.
for it.
You have evidence, but it is concealed first by deception. You are the forbidden fruit, but I am not Adam. See, it fits. It fits. I don't know
Very good.
why, but like I can imagine Gollum saying all of the words that he says because Gollum was a riddle guy.
That's valid. That's
Creepy.
valid.
It just fits. I imagine this guy sits alone in a cave, aka mom's basement, neckbeard, Discord mod. He's got it down.
I'm just going through, and like the cringe is multi-level because there's the cringe of being sexually flirtatious, and then there's the cringe of how he talks about preparing for battle, and it's like, what is this war in your head that's going?
He took it so seriously. It was just so funny. It was like he wanted, I think the whole thing is he wanted Irish, Kenzie, and myself up there, but I was supposed to be there as a distraction. And then he was going to debate Irish. It made no sense to me.
Well, it makes sense to me. It's just cringe.
Yeah,
But
but
also the way that he's framing you as his intellectual, the intellectual antichrist or something. Like it's just, and the way he refers to you as his forbidden fruit.
yeah.
What the fuck? Why would you use that type of language? Now, Molly was, to be fair, trying to explain to me how Englishmen flirt. And it is very similar to how Irish people flirt, which is why I really can't fucking stand flirting in Ireland. And Kenzie, you may resonate with this a little bit. It's all about negging. It's mostly we all put each other down. That's the
Yeah.
primary form of flirtation.
It's
But I got to
basically
admit,
to be as horrible to each other as possible. That
yeah,
is
it's
how
literally
women
pulling the
work.
person's hair. And that's like through to your 40s and 50s. Like that's not an age difference. That's just how it's done throughout all dating. It's a little fucking peculiar, I'm not going to lie.
That's why I was like, when he and I were first talking, I was like, oh, he's flirting. And then the numbers in the Snapchat came, and I was like, yeah, yeah. And then the key to the presidential suite, bookings are currently closed, but they're going to come open. And also, right, like literally just before I came on this live, he accepted the request to follow and was like, you can now pass, winky face. I was like, wait, what?
Ooh, so weird. That makes me cringe.
Can he actually hurry up?
It's
Oh.
basically him sort of like portraying himself as a gift, which is the like really weird thing. Like he's going to give you access to him as if that's what you actually want. Like the assumption that you want private access to him is what's kind of weird.
Yeah, I was trying to get more out of him, but
Oh no, you
in
did
time I
enough.
was holding myself back because, yeah, the disgust. I was like, as soon as I had them, I hope he's not here, but I was sending it to Irish, being like, "What is he doing?"
I think he's using ChatGPT.
Oh yeah,
No. ChatGPT is broken if that's the case. This is horrible. He does
Well,
I
have
so
mean,
a
do you think that's
awkward.
like a sign of purity culture?
How so?
You are the forbidden fruit, but I am not Adam. Like if she is something that he desires, but he cannot have.
I
Well,
think,
I did wonder if that's what it was. Like, what else would it refer to?
like, remember my accent, and he was like saying, "Oh, it works for you because you're female," like my posh accent. So I think there's some kind of like purity thing going on here. Yeah.
Well, he's basically saying like you're like I'm not going to be fooled by you. He's saying like you might have elegance, and it's concealed first by deception. You're the forbidden fruit, but I'm not Adam. So he's saying like, but I'm not going to take the bite. Is what he's
But
trying to say.
then also did later, which just made no sense.
Yeah, which it's just word salad.
Yeah, he said I was a
He
spy.
thinks you're a spy.
Yeah, I mean, no, he is. He's telling you that like
But
you're
spy on what is the
talking.
weird thing?
I think
Well,
his
spy.
content.
Yeah, and the Irish was my master, and I just completely. He kept saying it, honestly, and that I just like follow him around, but then I have too much fire and I'm talking too much, and basically I'm just too bossy. But it's because I'm like doing it because Irish told me to do it. Like, what?
So,
I
are you
just
the forbidden fruit because he wants an intellectual woman to dominate him, but all of his friends would look down upon him for it?
Maybe.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
this is a knowable man. Like, I don't feel like we're ever going to
I'm
understand
trying
JR.
so hard to break it down, but yeah, I go back to my original analogy. He's got one in the cave.
I just need to say something because now this is really, it's really upset me, honestly.
Yeah, I don't
Because
blame you though.
not only did I get a rude message that at first didn't hurt my feelings, but now like it seems like like I love Molly. I'm not saying anything to say this like to be mad at Molly. I just cuz I'm this is stupid JR, but it's just really upsetting that this is how one person gets treated in comparison to another who did the
Yeah.
exact same thing. He
I'm
let
sorry.
Molly follow her. Then and the reason he let Molly follow her is because he's clearly attracted to Molly. And I
Yeah.
don't want JR to be attracted to me. That's not what I'm saying. It's just it's unfair the treatment that people get when all I did was follow him. That's all I did. I
No,
didn't
but
message him.
that's
I didn't
legit,
do
Steph.
anything.
But Steph, like that's legit. Like I don't think you're being overly sensitive in any way at all.
You're
I think
not. You're
that it
so valid
is.
in
That
that.
is exactly. Yeah, it's really fucking enraging
Like
that
it
two
feels
people can do the
stupid to be
same
so
thing.
upset.
He's
No, I don't think at
honestly.
all. I think it's gross because, like, realistically, why would he have engaged with Molly differently? And we know he looks at the person before he acts, right? So it is. It's disgusting.
I think it was. The difference is crazy considering we both did the same thing. And I think he's just being a vile man. What vile doesn't even like explain it. I feel so awful, and you're so totally valid in what you're feeling. Like it's we all just feel terrible. It's just such a horrendous situation, and it's just vile. And I really hope that JR can, well, I imagine he will be back up here shortly. Hopefully he can take some accountability and apologize, or at least just realize that what he did, especially the difference between us, was just a really fucked up thing to do. But yeah, I'm sorry, love.
No, but like Stephanie, I'm sorry if it's going to be extra traumatic to like talk about it a little bit more, but like it is kind of astounding how what a man can extract from you determines how they treat you. Like that is infuriating. I completely understand that.
JR's back.
No, I'm so sorry to interrupt this entire life. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Dill, you just joined. I want to talk to you. Can you either DM me or like request after this conversation is over? Thank you.
It's absolutely vile. I'm going through all these messages now, and like, yeah, he's clearly interested in Molly, and that's why he's treating her differently for sure.
He is in the comments and he says that he's requested and he's asking you to let him up.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't paying attention. I was going through all these messages.
Put me on the big.
JR, do you no JR, did you hear what was just said?
No, I never, because I've only just come back on.
Okay, so I want you to stop thinking about your messages for a moment. Okay? And
Yeah.
I want you to listen. I don't know, Stephanie, if you want to say it again or if someone wants to say it on your
Yeah, I
behalf,
can.
Stephanie. Yeah, go for it.
JR, you said that the reason that you not only messaged me rudely the way that you did, but then blocked me was because I followed you and you thought I was a spy for Irish, whatever that's supposed to mean. But it turns out Molly did the exact same thing. She followed you. And I guess because you thought she's really pretty, and Molly is really pretty, like she's way definitely out of your league, but because you clearly have a thing for her, you accepted her follow request and then started DMing her inappropriately. Now, I don't want inappropriate DMs from you, and Molly doesn't deserve that either. So I really hope that you truly apologize to her for those. However, I don't understand what the difference between our actions were if they were exactly the same. So can you explain that to me? Because you have actually really hurt my feelings.
Right, okay. First of all, it's got nothing to do with Molly's looks because I speak to plenty of pretty girls and I've been in a company of very many pretty girls. If you go on my profile, or should I say Molly does, and she'll see me with them, girls much prettier than her. So it doesn't matter in regards to her
Wow.
appearances. It doesn't matter in regards to her appearances. Trust me, yeah. She thinks I'm after her for her appearances. No, I'm not. Because I
Irish,
never
did you
even
hear that?
Yeah, this is
I
crazy.
never even initially accepted her ad. I only messaged her after I accepted her ad to say, I know exactly what your game is. I know what your game is. And because she was going to be part of the debate, because she was going to sit on it, I know for a fact that she was going to talk on it because every time I talk to Iris, she's here. She's here now. So I thought, you know what? I'll let her in
JR,
and
you're
play the game.
obsessed with
Yeah,
me.
she's here
Okay?
now because of your
Oh
nasty
my
messages
God.
that you sent the
How
two
can
of
you say
us.
I'm obsessed with you? I never
JR,
even,
my love, it's understandable,
Well,
okay?
well,
All of
hang,
these
hang on.
women
I
up here
do.
are gorgeous.
I never even
Hang on.
followed
Stop, stop,
you.
stop,
I never
stop.
even
I
requested
want to
you,
center
Molly.
this back on. I want to center this back on Stephanie, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
don't really care what your motives are, Jr. Right? Do
Yeah, of
you
course.
understand that when two people message you and one person you start offering your snap to, and the other person you say, "Who the fuck are you?" and then mock them for their follower count and a video they posted? Do you understand that you're engaging in disparate treatment? You're treating two people differently based upon them doing the exact same thing.
Well, first of all, Irish, the snap
No,
was being
I'm getting
No,
a
I'm
little
not. No,
exhausted.
because it's a fraudulent question.
Can you
It's a
admit that you
fraudulent question,
treated the
Irish.
two of them differently? Yes or no?
No, it's a fraudulent question,
Okay,
Irish,
well then you're
okay?
a liar
It's
again.
not fraudulent.
No, it's
And you
not.
know what,
Because I,
JR? Quite frankly, I'm going to tell you something. I've dealt with this my entire life. I acknowledge that I am a larger woman. I am not the most beautiful woman. I
got
think
nothing
I'm
to do with that.
pretty, but I'm not going to say I'm the prettiest. However, I don't deserve to be treated like that by anybody.
Your looks are nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do
It
with it
had something to
whatsoever.
do with it
So
because Molly and I did
you're
the
trying to
exact
say
same thing.
I never even had a very good look at you or even took any notice in that regard. It was simply
You watched her
because you
videos.
came on. I watched one video, Irish, and I blocked the account, mate. What the hell is up with you? I never scrolled
You
through every
watched
single
the
video.
video and you
I
listened to it
watched
attentively
I
enough to
watched
note the
one
location.
video, Irish, one video, and I never
You
even
literally knew the cross streets of the video.
on one of them because that's all I watched. That's all I
So
needed
you
to do was watch one
carefully
video,
watched
Irish.
at least
And
one video.
if I thought so much about Molly, I would have requested to follow her, but I
That
never.
video wasn't even on the
But I
top of
never,
my
Irish.
All right, that's
videos.
exactly what I was about to ask. Can the women in here tell me right now if a man has thoroughly looked at one video, is that the only video he's looked at on your profile?
No.
Because I'll freely admit no. JR, and also Stephanie pointed out that wasn't even her top video. So you literally likely went through multiple of her videos.
No, I never. I must have scrolled down, Irish, and watched one video
Why
that
would you
caught
do
my
that? Why would you
attention.
do that?
Because I did. Sometimes you don't have to watch all the videos to go through one video. You just
Yeah,
click on one
why would you
video.
scroll down?
Because when you have a look at the squares, you can still see part of the video or the picture. You can't watch the video, but you can still see a picture of it. And I thought, you know what? I'll just click on one and see see what it's saying.
Actually, you
I
could
clicked
have
on one
gotten a
video.
pretty good idea
I
of
clicked
who,
on one
like,
video,
of
and then
things
what I
just
did
from the
was
first two
Let her
videos.
I
finish.
blocked
Let
the
her
account.
finish.
You claim you didn't know who Bobby was. His live is my first two videos because we use them on our live. So like I'm very confused why you scrolled so far down on my profile and
Bobby.
then sent me a rude message.
No, I watched one of your videos, Steph, and I blocked your account. I had no interest in your account whatsoever.
But you didn't just block me.
Please.
First you looked at my videos, then you sent me a message that
I
was
don't.
berating my account, and
No,
then you
Steph,
blocked me when I got
I'm going to
upset.
stand firm on this. I watched one of your videos, right? One, and then I blocked the account. You can choose to believe that all you want. You can think
But you
if
didn't.
you want
But
to. You
my
can think that
point
I went through all your
JR, is
videos and I never.
you didn't just look at videos on my account and then block me. That would have been fine. I never would have known or
That's
cared.
fine.
But
That's
you
fine.
sent me a message and then I responded to you and then you blocked me. That's
I
what hurts
blocked.
my feelings.
Okay, okay. Well, I blocked you. I had no. Listen,
But
I
you
had
didn't
no.
do the same thing to
Let me
Molly, and
finish.
not
No,
saying I
but
want those
I
messages that
didn't
Molly got.
request Molly.
Why are
I
you
didn't
talking?
because I'm
JR,
actually
let her
requesting.
finish. Let her finish, and then I'll let you respond. But let her finish.
You always say this, Irish, and you never do. You're a liar. You never let me respond. Let me
JR,
respond.
I'll make sure
Irish
you
isn't
get a
even
chance to respond.
speaking.
No,
Go
Irish,
ahead,
could you keep
Stephanie,
saying
and
it?
then I'll let JR respond.
Right, Irish, right, yeah? This is the last time now I'm going to shut me mouth, okay, yeah? Next time I want to speak, let me speak Irish on your
Sure.
platform.
I,
You
I,
keep
I will
lying
do,
about it,
sweetheart. Go ahead, Stephanie.
fucking prick.
JR, the point here really is that you treated two people differently who did the exact same actions, and that's not okay.
First of all, Stephanie, I had no interest in you whatsoever, and I got
I
with you.
don't want to have any.
Wait, hang
I
on, Stephanie. Let's let him
bro.
finish.
Let me finish. Let me finish, please, Stephanie. Irish, let me continue. And mute them. Irish, mute them.
I'm not muting anyone. You can
Yes,
finish.
just while I'm speaking, Irish, please mute them.
The answer is no. So go ahead and then continue.
Right, first of all, Irish, right, yeah. I had no interest in Stephanie whatsoever, and I got rid of the account after I watched that one video.
That would
Yes,
be
I
her
said that.
point.
Yeah, and the other point is this. I never, right, as much as you might think I'm obsessed with Molly, I never, okay, requested to follow her, okay, or sent her my number or my snap, right? And when she actually requested me, I never accepted it for like maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 days. I didn't even accept it, okay, because I knew what she was up to, I knew what she was doing, and I've got the messages here to prove it.
You
Now put me
accepted me
on the big
today, though.
screen. Put me on the big screen, Irish, now.
So
Accepted
I
me
will
today,
put you on the
though.
big screen if you do as follows.
No, I
You
will not.
apologize to Stephanie for
For
the
nothing.
abusive. No, you listen to what I'm saying. You apologize to Stephanie
Oh, do you
for
have?
the abusive. Nope. I don't want you to say if I hurt you. I don't want to hear if I was rude. I want you to say I'm sorry for the abusive message. That's it. You say that, and then I'll happily make you big screen.
What I want to say to Stephanie is, okay, right, yeah, and this is the best way I can say it, all right? I am sorry for sending you that message and if it has offended you.
Told you it
Nope.
did. There's
JR,
no if
JR,
because she
I'm going to
told you.
literally drop you. I'm going to literally drop you, and I'm just going to roast you in here for the next hour. If you don't simply say, Stephanie, I apologize for the abusive message. That's all you have to say.
And then put me on a big screen. Stephanie, I apologize for the abusive message. How's that?
Stephanie, is that acceptable?
Well, it would have been fine until you said, "How is that?" But honestly, JR, that's probably the best I'm going to get from you. So
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, Stephanie, I
What is
apologize
a
for the
late
Shut
no
up. Shut
thanks
up.
Leggett woman?
Stephanie,
What
I
does that mean?
apologize, Stephanie. I apologize sincerely to you
It's him
for that
being
abusive.
misogynistic again.
No, because I'm not. For that abusive message. If you've interpreted it as that, I
No.
sincerely.
Shut your pig hole. Stop saying if you interpreted it. JR, this is my problem with you, right? We're going to take a poll and you're going to say it's not valid. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to take a poll right now. If you believe this message is abusive, and I do not want you saying it's abusive because you think that's what I want you to say. If you don't think this message is abusive, be honest. I encourage you to be honest. If you think it's abusive, give it a smiley face. If you think it's not abusive and JR is correct in saying it's just simply not polite, give it a crying emoji and be honest. Don't do what you think I want. Don't do what you think Stephanie wants. Be objective. Smiley face if you think it's abusive. Crying emoji if you think it's not. The poll is now live. And I'll defer to whatever it says.
JR, just out of curiosity, I saw your message from earlier that said something about Adam and forbidden fruit. Might it correctly interpret that you consider yourself a Christian? Just so I know where your moral lines are drawn.
Can I just say something while the poll's happening? I just wanted to say it's okay if people don't think the message was initially abusive because honestly, at first, I was laughing about it. I didn't really care. I shared it in the live chat because I thought it was hysterical that
I got this DM from JR, who I've never really interacted with. But I'm upset about it now, and I'm taking it, and I feel abused by it now because of the context around what else happened in the background. That is why I'm so upset. It wouldn't have bothered me so much if it was just a one-off random message from a random person on the internet, but it bothers me because how I was treated in comparison to another person.
Yeah, hard
Making
agree.
fun of your follower count when his is smaller.
No, like I get that comment a lot from people. That's why I wasn't bothered by it. I just question why people are so concerned with how many people are following in comparison to how many followers they have. It's like, yeah, if you don't post a lot on the internet or you don't do lives, you're not going to have a huge follower count, but if you follow a lot of accounts, then obviously you're going to have a lot more following than followers. Whatever.
So I didn't see what the poll ended up being. What I assume it was very uniformly
You ran
against
the
him.
poll and
The
then didn't
the
even pay
last
attention.
the last I saw it was
Absolutely.
68 said it was abusive, but I didn't finish watching because then I was talking.
It got
Okay,
up to
Yeah, I
so
think it was 68-3.
JR, are you going to be disrespectful and say that those people who said it was abusive are just mindless drones? Or are you going to be self-aware and reflective for a second and simply say, you know what? A lot of people are saying it was abusive. It must be abusive. And I didn't realize it, but I'm going to defer to what people are saying.
I'm going to it. I'm going to accept that. Yeah, if Stephanie says that and she says it with her whole heart, which I believe she did, and she said that I've offended her. At first, she laughed it off. I think she said at first she laughed it
She said
off.
it was abusive.
No, no, but listen to me. At first, I think she said she found it funny or something, and she shared it or words to that effect. At first, she found it funny, yeah, because she's never interacted with me.
She found it abusive. Stop trying to change the words. JR, I
No, the
asked you
word she's just
specifically.
said Irish.
JR, I'm going to mute you because you're not listening to my question.
I'll I'll respond to what he's saying though. Yes, JR. When I first saw your DM, because I have my DMs separated so that I get like people that I don't know go into like a hidden thing, and I do check it once in a while just cuz sometimes people that I'm waiting to hear a follow from, like, they get separated into there. Don't know why. But so I checked it this morning, and that's when I saw your message. And yeah, initially I laughed it off. I was like, "Oh, how stupid that he DM'd me that, because what did I say to him?"
But you
But
also agreed it was abusive.
yes, I didn't like it, but it didn't hurt my feelings the way it has now because of everything else that I found out afterwards. So, while no, it did not hurt me initially, it has hurt me. Like, so I don't want you to think that my emotions are not valid just because I don't want you to think that my emotions are not valid just because I'll accept that, JR. Thank you.